What up, everybody? What up, what up? What about that chat?
All right, now, y'all, I know that everybody, if you haven't watched it or if you didn't see it, you've heard about President Trump's address that he gave to the nation, talking about over 250,000 illegal immigrants on the voter rolls and all types of other stuff that has the mainstream media going crazy. They found the burn bags. They got the CIA and FBI documentation where they knew that these foreign powers was interfering in our elections. And then we got the Save America Act that we've seen John Thune and the Senate dragging their feet on. Now, luckily for us, President Trump has been proactive. Back in March, he signed an executive order requiring the USPS to verify citizenship for every person that's supposed to receive a mail-in ballot. Now, when they did that, you know, the demon rats went crazy, and of all people, the NAACP sued the Trump administration for what they were doing. And they found a federal rogue activist leftist judge that did an injunction that blocked it all around the country. But guess what happened since that time? It went to court. And in this video, you're going to hear what happened. And that's why I tell people, don't panic. They playing 5D chess in the Trump administration. They know that you got those rhinos, and they know the demon rats want to cheat.
Right.
But wait until you check out what just came out of this, and there is nothing that they can do about it now. Now, as you see right here, appeals court. Oh, and just so y'all know, you see the different setup. I'm actually in New Jersey right now. We had a family reunion, so you don't see my typical setup, and that's why I didn't post just yesterday. I appreciate y'all for being patient. We're going to rock and roll this thing. No matter where we go, it don't stop, baby. So as you see, appeals court lifts block on USPS mail-in ballot plan in win for President Trump. And I'll get back to that article. I want you to hear what this means. Check.
How you guys doing there, Black Guy 9? Appreciate you being in the chat, man. I'm off work a little early. I'll be off work tomorrow early as well tomorrow. I'll be off work tomorrow early as well. My wife's birthday tomorrow. Oh yeah, MAGA, definitely MAGA. Yes, right, that's trustworthy. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
I mean, look here. A lot of this came to a head yesterday in a hearing.
All right, now, y'all, I know that everybody, if you haven't watched it or if you didn't see it, you've heard about President Trump's address that he gave to the nation, talking about over 250,000 illegal immigrants on the voter rolls and all types of other stuff that has the mainstream media going crazy. They found the burn bags. They got the CIA and FBI documentation where they knew that these foreign powers was interfering in our elections. And then we got the Save America Act that we've seen. John Thune.
Thanks, Black Guy 9. Thank you for that, man. I'll definitely let her know. You know what I'm saying? She out with her sister right now. That's cool. That's real cool. So, yeah, when she get back, I'll let her know. Thank you for that.
And the Senate dragging their feet on. Now, luckily for us, President Trump has been proactive. Back in March, he signed an executive order requiring the USPS to verify citizenship for every person that's supposed to receive a mail-in ballot. Now, when they did that, you know, the demon rats went crazy, and of all people, the NAACP sued the Trump administration for what they were doing. And they found a federal rogue activist leftist judge that did an injunction that blocked it all around the country.
You know it, man.
But guess what happened since that time? It went to court.
Appreciate it.
And in this video, you're going to hear what happened. And that's why I tell people, don't panic. They playing 5D chess in the Trump administration. They know that you got those rhinos, and they know the demon rats want to cheat. But wait until you check out what just came out of this, and there is nothing that they can do about it now. Now, as you see right here, appeals court. Oh, and just so y'all know, you see the different setup. I'm actually in New Jersey right now. We had a family reunion, so you don't see my typical setup, and that's why I didn't post just yesterday. I appreciate y'all for being patient. We're going to rock and roll this thing. No matter where we go, it don't stop, baby. So as you see, appeals court lifts block on USPS mail-in ballot plan in win for President Trump. And I'll get back to that article. I want you to hear what this means. Check this out.
I mean, look here, a lot of this came to a head yesterday in a hearing in the Senate where senators were very critical of this proposed policy and questioning whether or not the post office actually has the legal authority to carry something like this out, whether or not they are allowed to decide, in effect, what mail, particularly elected.
You got these boomers still listen to them, still think they the most trusted news in the world. On the real, that's crazy.
Based mail they are allowed to send on states' behalf. And those questions really came from Democratic senators. Here's a little bit of what that hearing looked like yesterday.
If a state refuses to turn their absentee voter list over to the federal government, will the Postal Service still mail their ballots under this proposal route?
Under our proposed regulation, no. We would tell the state that we need the manifest.
So again, if this is something that ultimately, having gone through the various court challenges to it, et cetera, the post office were to actually try to carry out, you can expect there will be Democratic lawmakers who will have some serious questions there. And in addition to that, what you're hearing from Democrats up here on Capitol Hill really echoes the legal opposition we've already seen percolate against this, questioning again the level of the post office authority here impacting a key constitution.
Usually I'd be at work around this time. Off a little early today. So shit, here I am. Here we are. Appreciate it.
Constitutional right, as you said earlier on. I mean, look here.
So then you heard that, right? So the United States Postal Service said no, they will not get any mail-in ballots unless they provide us with the manifest. Now this is going to impact California, New York, all of these leftist states where I'll use California for an example. Did you know in California, they have unlimited ballot harvesting, meaning typically if you were going to get ballots, you might be able to have ballots for 2 people, maybe 6 people, right? So you can go around, pick up ballots from people and submit them. In California, they made it legal for you to harvest unlimited amount of ballots. I mean, you could walk in with 10,000 ballots. There's no way to verify where you got it from or who you got them from. You turn them in. There's no checking ID. There's no checking citizenship. And every one of those votes gets counted. But yeah, there's no cheating in our elections. And if there's no cheating, why are they so insane when it comes to just, let's verify? Especially when we find out how many dead people have been voting in the elections. And remember, that 250,000 number that President Trump spoke about, that was from the red states who submitted. There was 250,000 illegals on the red state voter rolls. Now, and we are trying to keep it blocked, but in every red state, you got what? Blue districts, where they did what they did to guarantee a win for that demon rat politician, allegedly. But now, there's no racially gerrymandered districts, and the United States Post Office will not deliver your mail-in ballot if you're not a registered U.S. citizen. As a matter of fact, check out what Mark Wayne Mullin said, and then wait until you hear what they said in that article. But check, this is great news, y'all. This is great news. So what they're doing is they're setting up parameters to where even if, let's just say for whatever reason, the Save America Act does not get passed before the midterms, because it will get passed. Because, see, the rhinos just want to stop it for the midterm, the demon rats, because they know the pressure from the constituents, even Lisa Murkowski, they say now her own voters in Alaska are calling for her to be primary because she said that she won't support it. So the tide is turning. And then you got the demon rat networks that refused to air the President of the United States speech. I think it was NBC, ABC, CNN.
That's crazy, man. Very
they refused. But yet NBC and ABC get a chance to...
I don't give a fuck if you like the president or not. He's our president. He's an American president. And out of respect, doesn't matter who the president is. He's black, white, Canish, right. If you're an American president, play him on American TV. That's crazy. Y'all play Putin, but you ain't gonna play Trump. That's stupid as hell. See the hypocrisy? See the bullshit? These demon rats? Hey, pray for him, man.
Use the airwaves for $0. This is a clear-cut example of propaganda and mental manipulation. where they literally told the viewers, hey, we're not going to show it because we think the president tells lies, and our experts are going to listen to it, and we're going to tell you what he meant, everything he said, what it meant. No, that's not programming any.
That's stupid as hell. Don't listen to what Trump got to say out of his own mouth, his own action, his movement, his eyes, his mouth. This is somebody else. That's stupid as hell. Wow. Don't look what's in front of you. Listen to over here. Don't look what's in front of you. Listen to over here. That's stupid as hell. Come on, you Democrats. You guys are crazy. Crazy, crazy. And y'all keep on calling us a cult. Or we propaganda. Wow.
That's not brainwashing anybody. No, not at all. Now, check out what DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen said about what's happening now with these mail-in ballots, with this election. This is great news, y'all, because the mail-in ballot have been one of the secret weapons that the demon rats have been using. Because there's going to be poll watchers at the poll monitoring what's going on. And then you got those Dominion systems. They're in blue states, which means that, yeah, it can impact blue elections, but guess what? We're watching that too.
Blue states, you don't need no ID. Just tell them your name and your address. And they're going to point you to where to go vote at. That's it. No ID at all, man. That's bogus as hell. Chicago, out here in Rockford, the same thing in Illinois. No ID. Just tell your name and address, and they can sit you down somewhere. That's crazy, man.
And the mail-in ballots was really one of their last alley-oop saving graces. Now, that's being impacted.
The truth, you the one that's racist. You one jumping in the chat saying stuff about racist. Anybody ain't talking about anything about racist. We talking about how the vote being bogus. You know what I'm saying? We talking about voting. So voting's racist? I don't think so. Having your ID to vote is not racist. You get your ID for everything else. Why not to vote, especially when it comes to state and federal elections? Period. I don't know damn foreigner voting. That makes no sense. You want somebody who don't even work here, don't even live here, no contribute to here. Just vote for somebody in power. That's stupid as hell. They got no skin in the game, but you want them to vote. I thought you guys, what they say, we ain't kin folks. What's that y'all saying? That stupid shit y'all be saying? Yeah, shit crazy. Not like us.
No rolls, no ballots, no votes counted for your people. But check out DHS Secretary Mullen.
President Trump's.
Right, this whole chat, there ain't nothing about being racist on this chat, man. These men came straight in, racism. Wow. Welcome to the chat, The Truth. That's a good name to have. Welcome. Glad you're here. I'm glad you called us brothers. Appreciate that. You know, we men. You know what I'm saying? We boys, we men, we grown people. That's crazy, man. Y'all just jumping people's chats and be saying anything. I hope you got no frog suit on as you texting and stuff.
If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. And when you do, make sure you hit the notification bell and then select all, just to make sure YouTube notifies you whenever I upload new videos. And if you really like it, after you hit the like button, you can drop down, swipe left, and hit the hype button. It gives us points, and it really helps. I appreciate you.
Our cybersecurity team and CISA will release an updated election infrastructure plan, and it'll be public within 30 days. Meaning that'll give the states the resources they need to help from the cyber side. From us, if they participate in the SAVE program, we'll provide the resources and training to support state election integrity. We're not trying to change the outcome. We're trying to make sure that American people can trust our voting system. Real ID does not prove citizenship and does not give you the right to vote. You must be a U.S. citizen and you must be eligible to vote. Before and after the election, we will scrub all election records looking for illegal aliens and those who are ineligible to vote, including those that somehow voted, yet they were deceased. If you're illegal and attempted to vote,
or you tried to vote illegally for someone else, we will find you and we will charge you. Illegal voter registration and illegal voting both carry penalties up to 5 years in prison and up to $250,000 in fines. We will pursue maximum
like 400,000
pressure
people,
on
you know what I'm
this.
saying? Was it 400,000 dead people voting? That's insane, man. I think some people say, I remember seeing a video, somebody said, I think it was a woman saying that she told them to take the name off the ballot, and they took it off. They supposed to have took it off, but ended up right back on it again. I think it was their grandma had deceased, or auntie. I think it was the auntie that deceased. Say, take her name off the ballot. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to call it, take it off, and they still put it back on there. She still voted, and she's not alive to vote. That's insane.
So now anybody that goes out there, remember, the letters went out to all 50 states telling the election supervisors, hey, if y'all let anybody cheat or vote illegally in these, we're going to prosecute you. Now, if you're an individual that goes out and you does it, you're facing 5 years in prison and $250,000 in fines. Is it really worth that? Now, let's check out this article. Like I always tell people, don't panic. There's no reason to panic. This is a chess game, and it's not over until it's over. And so they knew and anticipated. I don't think anybody anticipated that John Thune was going to be this bad. I don't think anybody saw that. He's a very skilled chameleon. Because then we find out he's really one of Bush's boys. And he's a person that supported Democrat causes up until he ran to get into office, allegedly. And then you got Tom Phillips, who's pissed off that he's not going to be reelected, and who takes money from the illegal immigrant lobbyist groups. He's gotten over $750,000 from them, and he was confronted by a freaking journalist about it, and he went running off with his tail tucked between his legs. Check this out, and pay attention to the clip I show you right after this. Where she, as a matter of fact, before I even show you this one, let me show you this trader and what he said. Check this one out, and then we'll show. Look at him getting confronted.
I'm against it because people are selling you a bill of goods. Well, it can't be implemented on day one, right? South Dakota actually starts voting 46 days before the election.
South Dakota is whose state? John Thune.
Now, under the Constitution, each state controls how it handles elections, but Congress can play a role. There is a push to add the Save America Act to a stock trading bill in the House next week.
So as you heard there, Tom Tillis was saying flat out, he's against it. America was sold a bill of goods, okay? Now, check out him getting confronted by this journalist about that crap that he just said, and she exposes him taking money from the illegal immigrant groups. This explains it all. And he shouldn't even have anything to do with it, seeing that he's going out the door. But check this out, this POS. And if he is your senator, you should send an email. You should do everything you do to have this, help this fool have a terrible time on his way out the door. But check this out. On the heels of all of the stuff that's taking place in the country right now, seniors, it's extremely important that description to find out is sure you got the best at everything you need.
Senator, you've received almost $700,000 from the illegal labor lobby. Is that why you voted against the Save America Act?
Can you tell me who the illegal labor lobby is?
Yes, it's contractors, general contractors, hospitality companies, industries, construction companies and industries. You're receiving almost $700,000 from these lobbyists.
Any idea what a remarkably silly question that is?
I think it's a pretty important one. I think your constituents want to know why you're betraying them.
Some math. You know what my election cycle, the total all-in election cycle cost was in 2020? It's $300 million. Do you honestly believe that I would make a policy decision based on that?
I don't know why you're betraying your constituents. Why are you betraying your constituents? Why are you betraying your constituents, Senator? We just want secure elections, Senator. You're preventing us from getting that. You're betraying America. What a strange thing for Senator Tillis to say. $700,000 is not enough.
Why these people, like, they do all this talking on the mic, and then when it comes to these journalists asking them questions, they don't want to say nothing. Dude, y'all work for us. So answer the damn questions. Any of them. Answer the question. You make yourself look guilty. It's not good, man. We gotta do better with our votes around here, man. We gotta do better with our votes. Because these people, if they think they work, we work for them. They work for us. They get cocky, man. They get all this money and get cocky. What the fuck? We gotta stop that shit. We gotta humble these people, man. They gotta be humble.
Don't sell out for any amount of money. But Tom Tillis says he sells out, but not for that amount.
Did you hear that? So this man got 673,000 from the illegal general contracting lobby, where they literally lobby for illegal immigrants to it's the most insane thing. That's the agency that has the illegal immigrants that's working, doing all these general contractors, construction, and all of this crap, and they're lobbying for people to be on the side of not forcing the illegals to get out because it's cheap labor for those companies. It's insane.
Yeah.
But this is what we're dealing with when we got these freaking rhinos. Now, check out what this article says with me. And it's a short article. So, appeals court lifts block on USPS mail-in ballot plan in a win for Trump. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit issued a stay on Friday, temporarily lifting a lower court's block on USPS's mail-in ballot proposal in a major win for President Donald Trump. On March 31st, Trump issued an executive order ensuring citizenship verification and integrity in federal elections, which directs federal agencies to develop state-specific lists of voters who are confirmed U.S. citizens. A provision calls on USPS not to handle mail-in or absentee ballots from individuals unless they appear on a state-specific, federally approved citizenship list. Ahead of the midterm elections, Trump has been feverishly calling on Congress to pass the Save America Act, which would require proof of citizenship for voter registration, mandate photo identification at the ballot box, and heavily restrict mail-in voting. In response to Trump's executive order, the USPS issued a proposal that would require states to meet certain conditions before USPS could handle the mail ballots. Those conditions include providing USPS with a list of eligible mail-in voters and adopting specific USPS ballot formats and tracking requirements. Well, they're saying there'll be barcodes specific on each envelope that can't be duplicated. They'll have special markings and things that no random person would just know, like how it's been exposed that China, and I've been talking about this for over a year, China literally made...
Yeah, so also, man, I believe, you know what I'm saying, no immigrant should be in office, period. That's why I got all this crazy ass laws going on. People that's not born in America coming here with these goofy ass laws. And they pass them. And also they want us to comply to them. Nah, keep that shit over your other country. Keep that shit over there. Stay over there with it. On the real, that's just, man, I don't know why they just fall for this bullshit. Go back to homeschool. Go back to the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Less technology. Everybody was outside. You fight. You know what I'm saying? You become friends. You beat each other, become friends the next day or the same day. Man, now you get to a fight, you shoot. Ain't no fight, you just shoot each other. Shit's stupid. No consequences. Nobody want to be held accountable. Accountability is out the window now with this generation. As I got through watching this clip of Sunny Holston begging the cops not to arrest her son because, you know what I'm saying, he trespassed. And she telling the cops on the phone, he's a Harvard graduate. He's a 4th grade teacher. Okay, that's good. He's a 4th grade teacher. He's a Harvard graduate. But he didn't understand the rules of the law or the streets. You can't trespass. He didn't read the sign. He's a Harvard graduate. He didn't read the sign. You can't trespass. He didn't see the divulgence. You know what I'm saying danger and all that on the sign. He didn't see that. He's a Harvard graduate. He didn't see all that. Get the fuck out of here. I'm a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. So what? You a lawyer? So what? You work at the View. He broke the law. So she didn't want him to get nothing. He's like, man, all he want to do is get a ticket and pay a little fine. That's it. She had like he's gonna end his career. He gonna get fired. He gonna get sued. Dude, all he gonna do is get a ticket. That's it. It's not gonna get a mug shot. She like he going down to the precinct and get a mug shot. Damn, that shit crazy. Privilege. But she keep on saying America is so bad. But they privileged. And then America's so bad, Sonny. Why you want the borders to be open? If America's so bad, why you want open borders? If America's a shithole, why you want open borders then? That's stupid. So which one is it? America's good or America's bad? If America's bad, why you want the borders to be open? You know?
Factor ballots in 2020
Like,
and take
everybody.
driver's licenses, ship them to America, and it just so happens that like 20,000 driver's licenses got busted and tens of thousands of ballots were found and confiscated. But how many made it through? The National Association for the Advancements of Colored People, NAACP, argued the proposal contradicts a 2021 settlement that requires USPS officials to take extraordinary measures to ensure timely delivery of ballots, according to Reuters. U.S. District Judge Emmett Sullivan issued an injunction that blocked USPS from implementing its proposal. However, that block is now on a temporary hold as a 3-judge panel ruled Friday that the NAACP's challenge is premature as the proposed rule is likely neither constitutionally nor prudentially right for review. Meaning, what are you suing for? Nothing's been done. Nobody's been harmed. You can't just litigate something that hasn't happened yet. So, in the review, it also notes, and I'm right here, it also notes that delaying the proposal could prevent USPS from issuing and implementing a final rule ahead of November's midterm election. In February 2025, reports surfaced that Trump was planning to absorb the independent USPS into his administration. The report suggests Trump planned to issue an executive order to place the agency under the control of the Commerce Department. To date, no such executive order has been issued because there's no need. Because the courts know, the real courts, that's not the activist judges, but people that are really in there, checks and balances, they know we have to secure our election. If red states have 250,000 illegals on it, what do you think the blue states have? And if anybody's not paying attention, why are the Democrats so against just verifying that only U.S. citizens vote? And so you got to pay attention to the wordplay of these demon rats. Whenever they say, passing to say that millions of people or millions of Americans' votes won't be counted. If you notice, they always say millions of people, not millions of Americans. And they're right. Millions of people's votes will not be counted. You know why? Because they're illegals. So they take real situations and they do word semantics with it. When they say, by passing this, millions of people are going to be disenfranchised. And to the ignorant listener, they say, oh my God, is that me? And it's like, no, fool. You're a legal citizen here. That's for the illegals. And that's their way of telling us there's millions of them here. So this is a huge win for America and for the Trump administration. So keep your head up and realize we are battling this thing through and through. Polymarket and everything is already saying the Republicans are going to win and keep the Senate, which is awesome. And we got a real strong case of winning the House because typically at this time, the Democrats will be up by 20 points, 30 points. They're not. As a matter of fact, the advantage by these leftist poll takers are showing demon rats with a 3-point advantage going into the midterm. And we know that they sway these push polls where they'll create these fake polls to give the illusion like the Democrats are doing so well, which can influence other people to say, well, since they're doing so well, I might as well join in too. It's the herd effect, but it's really called a push poll. So even in there,
if Trump say open the borders, the Democrats say close the borders. That's how sick they are. If Trump say open the borders up now, they be, oh shit, close it. Trump derangement.
Push polls. They can only say there's a 3-point advantage. And you know what that tells me when CNN says Democrats own?
No, a better way. If Trump say he'll let the illegals come in and they have them vote Republican, they'll close the borders then. If he did, they'll definitely shut the borders down. Matter of fact, they'd be at the borders themselves. If Trump say tell the illegals to come vote Republican, he'll let them come in. You will see Nancy Pelosi at the front gate.
We have a 3-point advantage. That means the Republicans may even be up on real internal polling done by the network. They just know they just won't outright blatantly lie, just totally lie, but you know what I'm saying? So they gonna say, well, yeah, the Democrat three advantage. You know why they use the 3 number? Because it falls within the margin of error. And if it falls within the margin of error, then they have plausible deniability that they weren't doing a push poll. It just so happens that, you know, that's how it was. So these people are evil, but guess what? That's great news. And as you see, just so you know, this isn't some old out of date. This is July the 17th, 10:08 p.m. last night that this dropped. So that's excellent news. The appeals court said, get out of here, NAACP, with that lawsuit.
Get
The
out of here.
USPS will not be delivering ballots to anybody that is not a U.S. citizen and is not verified on the state roads, dealing a massive blow to California, New York, Illinois, Colorado, and all of these other sanctuary states. So huge win for the Trump administration, huge win for you and I, and a gigantic win for America. So, and listen, man, if you stayed and you watched this video up to this point, I want to say thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. If you haven't already, hit that like button. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe.
Like,
And most
subscribe.
importantly,
This is Brian.
make sure that you stay safe and that you be great. I'm Brian Maxwell saying I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all. In New Jersey.
Careful of the rhinos. You know the rhinos, Republican in name only. You know, you got people in Congress. They are voting as progressives, but they're Republicans. A lot of stuff is not getting done that the president is trying to get done because you have these rhinos undermining his administration.
Trending number 1 is past the Save America Act after Trump's bombshell findings about election integrity, and this is the reaction of millions.
Oh, good morning. So I'm sure there's a lot of people, especially on the left, and even some on the right, that didn't take the time to watch Trump's speech last night. I highly recommend those of you that did not watch Trump's speech last night to go listen to it. And then your next question should be, when is there going to be accountability? When are we going to see the bracelet slapped on? This is why we want the Save America Act. It not only benefits Republicans, but independents and Democrats alike.
Right.
For the safety and security of our democracy moving forward. So if you didn't listen to the speech, I implore you to go listen to the speech. Form your own opinion. Contact your senators. We need the Save America Act, or we're doomed.
What is going on? Why are there so many people now putting pressure on their senators to call them to pass the Save America Act? Videos like this are surfacing, comments, trending number 1 on X and every other platform is the Save Act. Well, here's what Trump did. Did he just trap the rhinos? Did he just trap these? Listen to what he said while he was making his bombshell speech. Mind you, about articles, and not only, but you can go to the whitehouse.gov and look at all the declassified information about the 2020 election. Take a listen.
To all Americans, I ask you to pick up your phone tomorrow, call your representatives in the House and Senate, and demand that they pass the Save America Act without delay. Together we will restore faith and confidence in our country, and we will be bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Thank you. God bless you. God bless our great military, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
So he said, after finding all of this, the solution to this problem is not only the investigations that are now happening, right? The DHS just made a huge announcement, but it was everything that he said about the bombshell findings, about dead people voting in the elections, about people who aren't even citizens voting in the elections that basically help keep Democrats empowered in these big cities. Well, he said, call your senators. And of course, during the speech, he literally stopped and said, we should pass the Save America Act. This is what he did. So did he just trap the rhino senators? Because now they're getting a massive calls. Your local senators is now getting massive calls. Rhino John Thune, you got Tom Tillis, who is throwing a tantrum today. All these people throwing tantrums. But Trump made this announcement. He says, this is why you must pass the Save America Act. Take a listen. Did it work?
But most importantly, addressing this crisis of election security demands that Congress must pass the Save America Act. How easy is that to do unless you want to cheat? The only reason you wouldn't do it is you want to cheat because your policies are so bad and your candidates are so pathetic that you can't get away or can't get elected any other way. This landmark bill requires that all voters must show photo voter ID. How simple is that? Could I have your photo, please? Photo voter ID. All voters must provide proof of citizenship. Are you a citizen of our country, please? And hopefully there will be no corrupt mail-in ballots, which if you watched California and so many other places, mail-in ballots are inherently corrupt. So you would have no mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military deployment, or travel if you're going away on business or vacation. These reforms are urgently needed to stop the vulnerabilities that I've mentioned. To all Americans, I ask you to pick up your phone tomorrow, call your representatives in the House and Senate.
And they're getting the calls. They are getting the calls. It's pretty wild. I mean, here's the DHS. Here's the announcement that he made about what they found. And remember, he said the election in California, which is Los Angeles, with Spencer Pratt, he was in the lead. And because these mail-in ballots, they go to every single person, they go to everybody. And mind you, they're trying to tell you that people don't want this passed. 85% of white people want it. 82% of Latinos want it. 76% of black people want and they favor voter ID. And this is coming from CNN. So they're lying to you when they say that this is an attack on everybody that's not white or whatever it is that they're trying to do. But here's what the DHS announced.
What's interesting to me is we're getting pushback from activist judges that are saying that, hold on, the SAVE Act or the SAVE program, they are trying to put a stop to. Currently, because of the...
And it's crazy because you got videos out here that got the leftists and these Democrats saying that black people can't get IDs, don't have internet, don't have access to the internet, too poor, or can't even locate where the DMV is at to get the ID or driver license. And that's embarrassing because, you know what I'm saying, because some of these people on SNAP and they on Section 8, so they got to use their ID to get these benefits. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. You got veterans out here that got IDs. You got people that's homeless that got IDs. And they cool with it. They had no arguments with that. These homeless people had no issues about getting the ID because they want to get their alcohol. They want to get their fix. You know what I'm saying? So they support having IDs. But these lefties, these Karens, they out here, they too dumb to get it. And these are the ones out here protesting. These are the ones that talking some no kings to a president that's been voted for. You know what I'm saying? That's how insane it is.
The SAVE program, we have a pending appeal because activist judges are saying what? They don't want to secure our elections? Once again, how is this a part of a partisan issue? This shouldn't be a partisan issue. This should be that any judge and any God-fearing individual that loves this country should want to make sure that our elections are secure. And we have created inside DHS the SAVE program that allows states to proactively look at their roles. And so when you have 278,000 individuals that are non-citizens registered to vote,
wow,
plus 400,000 that have already been identified just in 23 states, What can we find when we have all 50 participating with us?
And remember how I told you, mind you, like I just said, Trump's announcements were a lot. And one of the main announcements about this was how China infiltrated, how the systems are weak, how Venezuela tried to basically help out to, and China basically tried to infiltrate and create stories. And it just, everything that has come out is just so shocking. And President Trump just unleashed a truth nuke, right? Pass the Save America Act now, Senate GOP. And this is what he said.
What is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history, resulting in China's illicit acquisition of 220 million U.S. voter files. That information includes names, addresses, phone numbers, political party preferences, and other sensitive data that would be needed to register to vote and engage in other nefarious activities, which is exactly what was happening.
So after Trump makes this speech, not only do you have the reaction from the American people, now they're calling their senators, calling their Democrat senators, calling their Republican senators. Trump says, for many years, I have called for bold, swift, and decisive action to protect the integrity of America's elections. Every American deserves to know that when they cast their vote, that their vote will be counted accurately in a system that is secure, one where cheating and interference are not just difficult, but virtually impossible. Unfortunately, the system we have today fails catastrophically. Short of that standard, tonight I am announcing the immediate declassification of release of critical intelligence revealing shocking vulnerabilities in our election infrastructure. This evidence shows that election system that we have is dangerously exposed to hacking, exploitation, and foreign interference. Just as disturbingly, this vital information has for many years been covered up and hidden from you, the American people, and that changes right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the documents we will release tonight have been gathered by the White House Government Transparency Task Force, along with the staff of the President's Intelligence Advisory Board, supported by our top intelligence agency chiefs, who have all personally reviewed findings we are presenting this evening and fully confirmed their authenticity. So this is coming after the announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find all of that in the whitehouse.gov. So what is the reaction of the people? What is the reaction of a governor? Well, you have one, in fact, that does not want to hand over his voter rolls to Trump's DOJ, which is a man now calling for the 25th Amendment on Trump, Gavin Newsom.
Well, the only thing missing tonight in Donald Trump's speech was tinfoil. This was a legitimate 25th Amendment moment, the ramblings of a mad king. Don't get me wrong, foreign interference in our elections, that's a real thing. Nothing about what you watched tonight, though, was real. It's make-believe. He wants to rig the election in 2026. He knows he's going to lose. He needs to rig the election before one vote was cast.
Wait. Is he saying he said that foreign interference is a real thing? So are you? And then he goes to say that Trump is only saying it so he could cheat. What? How does that make any sense? You're actually admitting that it's real, that Trump is right. You're admitting he's right, but he can't be right. And that to me that's the damage. That is the damage that I was talking about. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen, remember that in these findings, we found that ahead of the 2020 election, China had extensive plans to utilize potential and cyber operations to sway public opinion against the Trump administration and international opinion against the U.S. government. The China plans were designed to exploit U.S. societal fissures and vulnerabilities to influence U.S. and other audiences and the extension of the U.S. government decision-making. So what was some of the operation schemes that they wanted? They were alleging that the White House hated black people, right? Inciting demonstrations and marches as evidence of racial divides, increasing the level of conflict between police and anti-racism activists because they knew that would cause all hell to break loose in the streets. Which brings me to this very important clip about the Save America Act. Now, we know there's going to be mass calling. All of a sudden, John Thune is all for this, but we still don't have what they need. Now, there's been a national security bill that has been attached. Now, we don't know what the GOP is going to do, whether they're going to strip it from the national security bill that basically is a reconciliation bill that can pass the SAVE Act itself. That would take only 50 votes plus the tiebreaker coming from J.D. Vance. But if this can't get done with a Republican majority and millions of people, like I told you, I showed you the numbers. In fact, when you look at the numbers of black, white, and Latinos, it's in the 80s. And then we go to the CNN clip between Scott Jennings and this lady, where she was basically alleging that by Trump doing this and trying to pass the Save America Act, that it's racist and it hurts black people because they can't get an ID. That sounds like this. That sounds like the findings of what you could find on whitehouse.gov. I'm gonna close out the show by showing you this clip. Ladies and gentlemen, take a listen to this and watch how Scott Jennings consistently asked, how would it hurt black people to pass the Save America Act?
What voting rights is he taking away from black voters?
Oh, if we look at the SAVE Act, that's exactly what we're talking about. That is actually going to continue to disenfranchise overwhelmingly a lot of people of color. There are so many civil rights organizations that have run the data. If we look at the way that it is going to disenfranchise black voters, it's the same reason why Chuck Schumer called it Jim Crow 2.0. If you want to say that people have to prove that they are citizens, that they have to prove with a voter ID, the reality is you're layering what is a constitutional right for the American people and making it harder for people to vote in this country, and it's going to disenfranchise black voters.
Concern you that you're making all these claims? You've yet to lay out how it's hurting anyone, but 76% of black voters think we should show an ID to vote. 80% of Hispanic voters, 83% of the American people. Are you saying that black voters are too dumb to know what's good for them? I mean, it sounds pretty condescending.
So what are you saying? What are you saying?
I honestly don't know how else to put it, folks. President Trump essentially, effectively dropped an atomic bomb on the entire deep state, proving beyond a shadow of a doubt, in my mind, he is a modern day American revolutionary. He has earned every molecule of my respect, my awe, my appreciation, and my gratitude. If you missed the speech of all speeches last night, I'm going to break down exactly what he said. But first, a little story time. Okay, so we're all like hyped up. We're all just, sitting on pins and needles for President Trump's speech. This is the most anticipated speech I think he's ever made in his entire career. And then I saw this post right before, maybe about an hour before he was about to go on and give his national address. This is from Senator Bernie Moreno of Ohio. And talk about adding some gasoline to the fire already burning in my chest. He states, I was just briefed by the White House on what to expect this evening. He posted this on X last night. I would encourage every American to tune in tonight to the president's speech. This may be the most important Oval Office address since the Cuban Missile Crisis. I mean, this guy gets an A for promotion. It actually didn't take place in the Oval Office. It was in the East Room. But President Trump sure didn't disappoint.
These are exact quotes from the CIA reporting. The name of the person doing the quote is now under review, but it gets even worse. Raw intelligence obtained by the FBI in 2020, yet buried by rogue bureaucrats, stated that China's activities even included an attempt to manufacture illegal ballots for Joe Biden. Documents show that during this period, dozens of significant CIA and NSA reports about China's election targeting were kept out of the presidential briefing. These were briefings I would get almost every day. Everything was kept out that was of importance. One email among intelligence analysts admitted that they had, quote, deliberately massaged the presidential daily briefing to withhold information regarding Chinese activities related to the election. Another official inside the FBI wrote that she was running, quote, a shadow government, unquote, to keep intelligence about China's election meddling from becoming known and to keep it away from the honorable press. Other officials who witnessed such efforts perceived the motivations to be blatantly political.
Conspiracy theorists are vindicated once again. So that was just a small snippet of what he dropped. And by the way, he has declassified all of these formerly classified documents. That's what declassified means, Nez. And he's put them on a website. I'm going to share that link with you. Stick around. You don't want to miss that. One thing I kind of thought was interesting is you can always tell, using sort of a specific barometer of truthness, how honest and how real one side is over the other when you can see the reaction from the other side. Here is Kamala Harris, one of the least qualified individuals in the entire history of mankind to ever hold an office. This is what she posted before President Trump's speech. And I'm going to share with you everything he said. Before the president gets on television tonight to peddle lies and conspiracy theories, here's what you need to know. The 2020 election was not stolen. We won and he lost. As a matter of fact, Kamala, President Trump got every single vote in 2024. Every single one. Nobody voted for you, Kamala. They voted either because they love Trump or because they hated Trump. They never actually voted for you. And now we know that the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, made sure that that hate was fomented, architected, supported, nurtured, and watered by the mainstream lying-ass corporate press. Wait till you get a load of this. So the White House just dropped 4 document sets. Number 1, voting machines are exposed. The administration is declassifying. I've highlighted some of the more incredibly just stupefying aspects. Declassifying intelligence community assessments spanning January 2020 to June 2026. Per the release, U.S. adversaries Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, plus non-state groups have the capability to compromise U.S. election infrastructure. Voter registration databases and poll books are named as the most exploitable target. What a big shock that is. They told us we were nuts, remember? CIA reporting, here's the highlighted portion, reportedly shows Venezuela's Maduro regime built a method to digitally alter vote totals without detection, even under audit, in the 2020 Venezuelan election, cited as a warning about what's technically possible. This was really the big one. China stole 220 million voter files. Per the release, China pulled off the largest election data breach in history. 220 million U.S. voter records. They got names, phone numbers, addresses. A dedicated Chinese data exploitation unit was reportedly assigned to the operation. The release claims intelligence agencies knew data from 18 states was compromised back in 2020 and that it was kept from the public and the president. They also paid media to hate Trump, to spread lies about Trump, to defame, decry, debank, smear Trump and his entire family. Paid handsome money. What are the names of those reporters? What are the names of those networks? I think most of us already know who that is. I'm sure fired CNN reporter Jim Acosta probably knows as well. And then I found this file drop. Ahead of the 2020 presidential election, China had extensive plans to utilize potential redacted and cyber operations to sway public opinion against the Trump administration and international opinion against the U.S. government. The China plans were designed to exploit U.S. societal fissures and vulnerabilities to influence U.S. and other audiences, and by extension, U.S. government decision making. And check this out. Everything we knew, everything we understood about BLM, that fake terrorist organization, Black Lives Matter, all the hell and chaos we went through 2020, all the hate and smears they thrust against anybody who disagreed with their radical leftist terrorist ideologies, this was all funded by the Chinese Communist Party. Now, are you surprised? Now, are you shocked that Mamdani won in New York? Are you shocked that there's a rise in quote-unquote Democrat socialists who are really communists, and that the Democrat Party has been hijacked? Spencer Pratt just posted something saying, I got a lot of family and friends who are Democrats, and they can't stand this rise and this hijacking of their party, but if they say anything, they're called racists and bigots. Check this out. The operation themes covered a broad range of topics to exploit what China perceived to be U.S. fissures and vulnerabilities, including racial tensions, alleging that white people hate black people, inciting demonstrations, calling Trump a racist, right? Trump is not a racist. He hires more black people and more women and elevates them all the time. No matter what, just like me, I'm the same way. I never hired based on skin tone. Are you the best person for the job? Can you help me solve a problem? I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you identify as. Fine. If you can do that, you're hired. Inciting demonstration and marches as evidence of racial divides, increasing the level of conflict between police and anti-racism activities. And it goes on and on and on. They use social media, mainstream media. They had hidden influencers and media contributors. They paid everybody to create this, and they did a phenomenal job because woke mind virus. Not only this, how crazy is this, folks? Not only did they spawn the China virus, but they also created, spawned, fomented, nurtured, and launched the woke mind virus. And it worked to perfection. Third huge drop, Michigan registration fraud. FBI files per the release documented 2020 raid on a Democrat Get Out the Vote group in Muskegon. Canvassers reportedly admitted to forging signatures, inventing fake voters, and getting paid per registration via gift cards. The release says the Biden DOJ slow-walked prosecution. FBI Director Patel is now ordered to reopen the case. That's right, folks. Accountability is here. Check this quick clip.
The fourth set of documents reveals that even when significant evidence of fraud has been detected, it has been buried and covered up. Among the disclosures tonight are FBI files detailing evidence of alleged fraud by a large-scale voter registration operation in Michigan. In 2020, Michigan State Police raided a Democrat Get Out the Vote organization, corrupt group in Muskegon. And we're so concerned by what they found. They were just so concerned, they couldn't believe it, actually, that they contacted the FBI in Detroit. The documents state that some canvassers admitted to FBI agents that they signed voter registration forms in other people's names, submitted fraudulent registration for people who did not exist, and received gift cards tied to their number of applications that they produced. In other words, it was pay, play, and cheat. The FBI agents working on the case believe that crimes were committed, yet the Biden Department of Justice slow-walked the investigation and killed it. Tonight, I'm asking the FBI director to ensure that the matter is fully investigated and to work with the Department of Justice to prosecute those responsible for any crimes.
So I think this is really important to mention because I know you're a lot like me. You want to see accountability. You're sick and tired of these guys getting away with it. We release all this stuff. We knew all this stuff. Even intuitively, we knew all this stuff. But what next? Trump? Again, he means business, y'all. He's not like anybody else. That's why he's fired certain people. That's why he has a new AG. That's why he has a new director of Homeland Security. He's moved all the pieces perfectly. This He timed this to perfection, and there's so much more. And I have all my trust in my commander-in-chief. My president is marrow deep, and I know he's going to do something. Pillar number 4, the hugest drop right here. DHS review per the release found 278,000 non-citizens registered to vote in federal elections, probably a lot higher than that, framed as the core case for federal voter ID and proof of citizenship requirement. You can find all the information right here at this link right here, whitehouse.gov/election/integrity. And what did the radical left have to say about this? What did the Democrats have to say about this? Well, look at this. Here's the witch herself, the wicked witch of the East, Nancy Pelosi. This is all she had to say about this. Obviously, Donald Trump is a loser. These are like third-grade tweets being posted by official accounts.
Some random guy speaks. What's up, man? Welcome to the chat, man. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I'm a little early on the chat today with it, going live. Usually I'll be at work. I got off work early. If you gotta go live, catch up on the latest news, see what's going on. Glad you're in the chat. Appreciate it, you guys. Appreciate it.
You know what Nancy Pelosi has contributed for the last decade? I'll give you a little hint. Check this out.
I want to know what the Russians have on Donald Trump. I think we have to have an investigation by the FBI into his financial, personal, and political connections to Russia. What do the Russians have on Donald Trump? Politically, financially.
This is his channel right here, you guys. Some random guy speaks. This is his channel. A good friend. He's real good, man. He's a MAGA. MAGA first. You know, well, American first, MAGA. He's American first. He's MAGA. Check his channel out. Like, share, and subscribe to his channel.
And personally, what does Vladimir Putin have on President Trump? Personally, politically, financially, in any way. What does he have on Donald Trump? I think it's probably financial. Either something financially has on or something on the come.
These Democrats have put our country through over the last decade and even more. And God knows how many other secrets, how many nefarious activities, illegitimate, illegal, criminal things they have committed against the American people. Chuck the Schmuck Schumer just posted recently that it'll never happen on my watch. The Save America Act is dead on arrival. I mean, what a colossal failure. They haven't done one thing for Americans. And then I found this beautiful little ditty of a clip that's going viral everywhere. Check out Hillary Clinton, all this China stuff. So essentially, just to wrap up really quickly what Trump said, and by the way, DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen has already announced he's going to be defunding states that won't give up any reviews of their voter rolls. President Trump has announced prosecutions, criminal charges with the Department of Homeland Security, Department of Justice, FBI, CIA, and the like. So he's going after these guys. He's not just saying it, he's going to be going after it. But I found this little ditty, speaking of the fact that President Trump has just said literally that this shadow government goes all the way, connected all the way to China. And I'm telling you, the pandemic, it all was China. Fauci is probably a Chinese spy at this point. We could legitimately open that book and at least look at it. Maybe not, definitively, but it's there. It's open for review. It's open for any kind of speculation and scrutiny. But I found this little ditty of Hillary. That's right. She just won't go away. And she just keeps on popping up and putting her foot in her mouth. Watch.
You know, the only other adversary of ours who's anywhere near as good as the Russians is China. So why should Russia have all the fun?
Yeah.
And since Russia is clearly backing Republicans, why don't we ask China to back us?
I hereby tonight ask China.
That's right. And not only that, China, if you're listening, why don't you get Trump's tax returns? I'm sure our media would richly reward you.
Now, does it make sense, America? Now do we understand what's happened over the past decade? Now does it make sense why they called us garbage? They called us racists. They called us Gestapo, Nazis, threat to democracy, constitutional crisis. This was all funded by the Chinese Communist Party. Now does it make sense why this guy's had more assassination attempts than any other president in the history of all mankind, in the history of the U.S. for sure, but maybe any leader. This was all architected.
Again, check out Some Random Guy Speaks. Check him out. Check him out. He's MAGA too. America first, baby.
Raise my children to think Donald Trump is an acceptable American leader. Nor that he is what the leader of our great country should behave like. Yes. I won't raise them to think his terror enables his power and that his greed equals success. He is the exact opposite of what real strength looks like. They're just incredible role models, and their values are American values, and we need to revive those and provide hope to everybody.
We heard from the governor, but we haven't heard from you yet about this investigation. What do you want to say?
I'm just so grateful for this inspiration and leadership. We need more of this.
Hey, this is stuff that happens in other countries. That's all I'll say. Happens in other countries. Who wants to go after me, go after me.
It's nice to see both of you. Madam First Lady, it's great to see you. Thank you, Governor. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Katie, I mean, when you look around, everybody is down here. I'm going to just...
Boy. So we got to talk about Jennifer Newsom, Gavin Newsom's woke wife, who is currently facing an investigation from the DOJ. An investigation that started before Trump got in office, right? Which is something to mention because Gavin Newsom is claiming that this is Trump trying to go after his political opponents, right? Trump is trying to investigate his family. I think he's using this in order to bolster his 2028 campaign. I mean, because let's be honest, he's failing, right? He's failing right now because he can't be woke enough for the progressive socialist base of the Democrat Party, right? Even though he is the most progressive governor that we've ever had in this country, that's not enough, right? And I think that he's desperate to show that he's under attack from the Trump administration, that he's fighting against Trump. And I think that's why he's lashing out, claiming that the Trump administration is targeting him, even though, again, this began under the Biden administration.
On Monday, California Governor Gavin Newsom declared himself and his wife to be victims of President Trump and the Justice Department.
To get me, he's coming after my wife, Jen. A public servant, a woman who's dedicated her life to supporting women and girls.
So without saying what was being investigated, Newsom also failed to mention a key detail, that the...
Right, Donald Trump did a lot for black people, man, period. You know what I'm saying? It's ain't about race. But yeah, Donald Trump did look out for Jennifer Hudson. He paid for her funeral. He put up in Trump Towers. I'm from Chicago. I know he did it. You know what I'm saying? I was a big fan of Jennifer Hudson because I'm from Chicago. American Idol. It was a big family thing at the time, but things have changed. Oh my God, Party never switched, man. We already played the videos already. It never switched, man. Period.
Biden DOJ began investigating people in his orbit as early as 2022, 4 years ago, including his former chief of staff, who ultimately pled guilty to fraud and other charges in May. Back in March, the Daily Mail ran a story claiming that Governor Newsom's wife and her firm pocketed more than $3 million from a gender stereotypes charity. For more on this, we're joined by the Daily Mail's chief investigative reporter, Josh Boswell. Josh, great to see you. So what made you look into Newsom's wife in the first place, and what did you find?
Well, there are just always a lot of questions that seem to be swirling around the Newsoms and their finances, have been for years. And so I thought, this is a man who clearly is going to be running for president, this is worth looking at, what their finances are, what the shape of them are. And so when I had a look at Jennifer Newsom's charity, I found that she was paying herself since 2012 $3.7 million. This is a lot of money when you look at the amount that the charity brings in. It's sort of 1 to 1.7 million a year, and she's paying up to a third of that to herself and her own company, $300,000 a year. Now that is, I did a bit of data analysis looking at what charities that size usually pay their executives, and she was in the top 5% of all charities in the nation for pay.
So DOJ, of course, doesn't comment on the specifics of this. We've really only heard from Gavin Newsom claiming this investigation is targeting them, even though, as we mentioned, it started in 2022 in his orbit. Do you think that the charity is the reason DOJ might be investigating her?
There's a whole bunch of reasons, potentially. There are a lot of questions around their finances. So the charity could be one of them. Now, it is legal for...
Black liberal women are destroying the black community of America. Yep, and the Karens.
For a charity to pay...
And the Kevins. And the Betas.
Whatever they want to their executives. But one of the issues they might be looking at is who are the donors to the charity that are financing that pay? What kind of relationships do they have with the California government that Newsom is in charge of? There's also, if you look at his income, and he's released at least, partly to journalists in closed-door viewing sessions, his tax returns. And if you look at that, his income is about 1.2 to 1.4 million a year. And it just doesn't add up for all of his expenses. He's got massive mortgages, $625,000 in mortgage payments. He's got at least $1 million in living expenses. And the two just don't add up. I would be interested in that if I were an IRS investigator. One other thing to look at here is the way that his property transactions are structured lead to a lot of questions. When he bought his $3.7 million Sacramento estate, it was done through an LLC, but that LLC doesn't seem to have appeared on his tax returns. There's all kind of questions of why he would do it that way, and he hasn't answered those satisfactorily. So if I'm IRS, I'm looking at that too, thinking maybe there's an issue here. We've yet to see what the actual details are, of course.
Yeah, so to me, it seems like at the very least, Jennifer Newsom is getting rich off of woke activism, which is par for the course, right? When it comes to these liberal nonprofits, right? They're all in it to get rich, right? These people who love to demonize the rich, they want to be rich the most, right? That's the crazy part about it. That's why all of these socialists are rich, right? That's why all of them are multimillionaires, and they're running around talking about how they're pro-working class and they're trying to help out regular, normal people, and that's just not the case, right? They're really just trying to enrich themselves because they don't have any real skills, right? They don't have any real jobs or anything like that. So again, they raise money via liberal nonprofits, pretending like they're making the world a better place when they're actually just enriching themselves, and they're not really doing anything to make the world a better place, right? I think that is a good summary of most liberal nonprofits and what they actually do, which is nothing, right? They just enrich themselves, okay? So with that being said, BS Now actually confronted Jennifer Newsom on some of these allegations, right, on this investigation. And there is one question that she is going to get hit with that is going to completely blindside her, and I want to react to it. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it.
Enemies. Joining me now for the first interview about this investigation is Jennifer Newsom. Jennifer, I'm so glad you're here. This is an ordeal. Do you have any more information about what exactly the Justice Department is claiming to be looking for?
No, this is a fishing expedition. I mean, this is typical Trump fashion. Go after your enemies. And so you'd have to ask the DOJ. But the irony is that this all happened.
Did y'all notice this? Y'all notice this? First partner of California, right? Now, I know from doing some of these interviews that they ask you how you want to be introduced, right? And the fact that she says first partner of California should tell you how woke this woman is. Okay, most normal people would say first wife, okay, or something like that. First lady, okay. She's saying first partner, which is LGBTQ language, right? I mean, let's be real, okay? That is the type of language that LGBTQ people use. But it really shows you just, again, how crazy this woman actually is. Again, just look at...
You know, so how you want to say we crazy for voting for Trump? Y'all was crazy for voting for Obama. I voted for Obama. He's a piece of shit. You guys voted for Biden. He's a piece of shit. So now what? All our presidents are a piece of shit now. You guys come, like I said, once again, y'all come in our chats, man. Y'all like y'all kids. Y'all supposed to be in adults. I thought this supposed to be an adult chat room. Y'all are kids, name calling, no facts, just feelings, crying and whining, repeating the same thing and over and over and over and over again in the chat. Like, dude, we seen you. We can read. We see you. We see it. We're not gonna respond to everything that you got up there because it's stupid. But you guys keep on putting it up there. Keep on posting the same stupid shit. Like, stop. We get it. Stop trolling. Go ahead and get your own channel and go do that. And troll on your own channel. Other than that, it's just waste your time. I mean, other than that, we like it as YouTubers. It helps the algorithm out. On the real, we appreciate it. But other than that, it just shows that you guys are clowns. You keep on saying we coats, but you guys keep coming on to our channels. And come with your feelings. And be betas. You know what I'm saying? Come with some facts.
How to introduce her first partner of California. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
But the irony is that this all happened as I was premiering my latest documentary, Misrepresentation Rise Up, which looks at the myriad ways the patriarchy, conservatives harass, threaten, intimidate, and try to silence women who speak truth to power. And the irony of all ironies is that life in this instance is imitating art, and it's here in front of us under Trump's leadership.
Is it having an impact on your work? Because the investigation is allegedly looking into your nonprofit that focuses on gender equity. How is this impacting you in your business, essentially?
Look, I've written, directed, and produced 5 documentaries that expose harmful gender stereotypes and norms and the benefits to society when we value women, when we value the feminine, when we help men lean into care at home. And I will keep doing this work. I am very proud of the work that I do. We're making an impact in the world. The world is better off when women are supported. Children are better off when women's wealth, health, and safety are addressed. Our communities are healthier, and our economy thrives.
The Trump administration has been using the Department of Justice, it's no surprise, to launch investigations and prosecutions of people that the president sees as his political opponents. But is it true that this investigation started during the Biden administration?
Yep.
I don't know the details. I do know that Trump was coming after my husband back when Biden was president, and Biden was running for the presidency, and I thought it was ironic. So, look, this is...
Come on, you guys. Like, share, and subscribe, you guys. Like, share, and subscribe. You see this trash? Come on, man. Stop it.
This is a fishing expedition, and I think what you're saying is that it's just been going on for a long time. My husband is Trump's most outspoken critic, and he's the GOP's biggest, I don't know. They've always targeted my husband, and whether it's the GOP themselves or, their media empire with Rupert Murdoch and the like, we're just, kind of sitting ducks in that regard.
Yeah, Robert Byrd, like a Kliegel or something like that.
Because they think that my husband's aspiring for the presidency, and they want it.
Wow. This woman is guilty as hell. Whatever crime she committed, she's guilty. Just by the way she answered that question, right? She got blindsided. She was not expecting that, right? She was not expecting a tough question or MS-Nail. So I get it, right? I get why she was shocked. Because...
Look, we get it. We know the Republicans ain't shit. The Democrats ain't shit. Period. We get it. It's obvious. They both bogus. They both been in power too long. Mitch McConnell been in power too long. Lindsey Graham, too long. I wish he didn't pass away, but hey, it happened. People pass away. But, you know, it happened how it happened. But Nancy Pelosi, all these people been there like over 40 years, 50 years. That's a lot of time. How they retire in Congress like that? And once again, the people, they work for us. They work for us. But yet they end up getting rich. And they keep telling us that it's the system. How y'all rich, but it's the system? Think about it. You know what I'm saying? Once again, it's the Democrat Party. They keep on wanting you to be pushed down. The Republican Party wants you to be, you know what I'm saying, get your money, be rich. You know, what about the government telling you about you can't buy a Red Bull off your SNAP benefits? That's stupid. Why would you want to go through all that? You know what I'm saying? Get a job. You don't have to worry about all that. The government can't bother you.
She's claiming that this is a fishing expedition, aka this is something that happened under the Trump administration. That's what it implies, right? This is something that's simply happening because Trump is going after his political opponents. But the investigation actually began under the Biden administration, which completely and totally destroys that narrative, right? How can it be a fishing?
Everybody else, I didn't vote for Biden, so I'm pretty sure you voted for Biden. I'm pretty sure you voted for Kamala Harris, Lynn. So what are you talking about? Trump being 80 years old. Trump is not shaking the invisible man. Trump not saluting, you know what I'm saying, somebody ain't there. Trump ain't falling up or down on stairs or a bike or anything like that. Come on, man. Stop it.
Expedition if the investigation began under the last presidency. And her answer to that question was incoherent, right? It was nonsensical. Well, see, Trump was attacking Gavin Newsom before he was in office, right? While Biden was in office. So therefore, that means that, you know, this is a fishing expedition, right? It's like, no, that doesn't make sense. Trump wasn't in office, though, right? Trump was out of office. Trump didn't have any power to start any investigation. His criticisms of Gavin Newsom, again, that's just regular politics. You know, just like Gavin Newsom criticizes.
No, Trump is not Jesus at all. Hell no. Jesus died on the cross for my sins and your sins. All our sins. On the real.
Trump, right? That's just politics. Trump did not have the power to start this investigation. This investigation started under Biden, right? Which suggests that this is not politically motivated, that there's actually some legs to whatever they're looking into. Maybe there's some criminal activity. I don't know. But I just find it to be fascinating how all of these people are getting rich. She's making millions of dollars off of woke activism, right? And again, these people claim they're against the billionaires and the millionaires and the rich, right? And they're actively getting rich. They're getting rich off of quote.
Again, check out my man, Some Random Guy Speaks. Check his channel out. Check him out. Like, share, subscribe to his channel. His name is Tony. Check him out.
Quote, being against the rich. It's amazing how the grift works, right? So, yeah, I mean, she was not expecting that question, and she struggled mightily to get through it, right? I think she told this host that I think what you're trying to say is that this has been going on for a long time. No. What she's actually trying to say is that your accusation that this is a fishing expedition doesn't make sense based off the fact that this started under the Biden administration. That's what she's actually trying to say, which, you know, hey, I got to give a little bit of credit, a tiny bit of credit to BS Nail for actually asking a tough question, right? This was actually a very good question, and Stephanie Rule asked it, and I think that Jennifer here was surprised. She was blindsided, and that's why she turned into Kamala Harris, right? Is this something that's common when it comes to political people in California where they just do word salad, right? Or is this just a leftist thing, right? A liberal thing, okay? They're not used to being confronted with tough questions, and, you know, again, this was a very basic question, but again, it was a tough question in the sense that how are you claiming that this is a fishing expedition if this began under a Democrat, right? If a Democrat DOJ started this, then again, how are you crying foul, right? It basically destroys the whole narrative.
Silence him, and therefore they go after his wife and those close to him. Is he aspiring for the presidency? I believe right now we are focused on California. We built a...
The answer to that question is yes, right? Yes, she's not good at BSing. I'm not sure why Gavin is allowing his wife to do these interviews, right? She's not representing him very well.
foundation, I've been focused on women and children and communities. I'm really proud of the work we're doing to close the women's wealth gap, the women's wage gap, to get women on public company boards. I'm really proud of the work we're doing with our CalKid and CalSavers accounts, before Trump accounts, and the financial literacy that's being mandated in all high schools. I'm just, we're trying to set California up for success. We are the 4th largest economy under my husband's leadership. California GDP has surged 40%. It's higher than Germany and China's, faster than the U.S.'s GDP growth. It's really exciting to be in California. Diversity is our secret sauce. It's what my husband and I stand for and represent and champion. And so I guess in that regard, we're a threat to the GOP. But right now we're focused on California, and we're focused on saving our democracy because clearly we have an unhinged leader who is coming at his political enemies and trying to intimidate us all. So fear, distrust, and chaos. And we have to right this ship, not just in our country, but for the world. The world is looking at us going, what is going on in America right now, or in the United States of America right now? And they're extremely concerned.
All right, this smile right here from Stephanie Rule is killing me, right? This smile is like, hey, shut the hell up. You're rambling. Okay, you're going on and on and on, right? You need to be more concise, right? Clearly, she's trying to filibuster her way through the interview. But the truth is that Gavin Newsom is not a threat to the Republican Party, right? He's a threat to this country, okay? He's a threat to the underlying core values of this country. That's the real threat. Gavin Newsom right now is struggling when it comes to his presidential campaign, because best believe it has begun. That's part of the reason why he's boo-hoo-won and crying foul, even though there is no foul here. Ultimately, at the end of the day, her nonprofit, his wife's nonprofit, his partner's nonprofit, let's use the LGBTQ term, right? His partner's nonprofit is sketchy, right? It's sketchy. And we're going to see if there are criminal charges. But again, these people told us that nobody's above the law, right? Nobody's above the law, including Gavin Newsom and his wife, right? It's just so funny how that goes out the window when it comes time to hold.
It is a fair, gross mischaracterization to say that this was nothing but misinformation, because this is actually very important stuff that he's coming forward with. I realized that back in the Biden CIA days, nobody wanted to admit anything. I mean, they had, all kinds of deep state actors that were working overtime to control everything that you heard and saw. I mean, heck, they tried to tell us, remember, that Biden was A-okay, and he could have handled another 4 years like easy peasy, just a breeze, right? I mean, think about that. Simultaneously, they were dishing out tons of cash with global aid, right? All over the place. USAID, okay, we need another, was it 3 million or 300,000? I can't even remember. But the point is, it was going to a trans opera in Colombia. Oh, and then there was the gay or trans, I can't remember, comic book in Peru. It was like, whoa, guys. So they had a whole system in place to reward these crazy NGOs, not just here, but overseas. And so there was the spigot was open, everybody was on the payroll, and now Donald Trump comes in and he exposes all of it. Well, these countries are mad. These NGOs are mad. And he has a whole bunch of actors stacked against him, including Iran, including China. Now, Biden's Intel department came to the conclusion that China did not interfere in any of the elections. And I'm like, okay, fine. That's your official conclusion. You know what your official conclusion was on the Wuhan virus not coming from Wuhan, China, from the lab there? It was that it was just from a wet market. And then guess what? Couple years go by, oopsie daisy, yeah, it turns out it came from the lab. Well, this is, Russia, the Russia hoax that we had to deal with for forever. I mean, James Comey tried to sell that one to America. Good luck, okay? And they sold it to the media because the media are friends with James Comey and everybody in deep state. You get it. So they sold that one, selling our integrity down the river, the U.S., and they've done this to themselves. Now nobody trusts them. And do you think I'm going to trust them when they say, China wasn't trying to interfere? Well, China would be stupid if it didn't want to interfere. Like, they should have hoped and prayed they got Kamala and Joe in there. The assessment, the official party line, because nobody wants to upset China, the official party line is no, they didn't do a darn thing. Well, I've looked at my Twitter account, okay? And whenever I put anything on there that would actually be good for the country and good for America, I get, not anymore, because America owns it now. But during the Biden administration, I get hit with some kind of infraction. I mean, it's amazing I still have an account. It's just unbelievable. Everybody was offended by everything I said all the time. It was like, I stopped looking after a while. At one point, I think I said to my producer who puts all that stuff up, I was like, maybe we should go easy. Maybe we just shouldn't post anything for a while, because apparently no matter what I say, I get in trouble. But then I do something like say, oh, here we go. It's a good idea for Tucker Carlson to interview Vladimir Putin. I'm actually all for that. So that was a lot of people in the left. They, oh my gosh, it's terrible. He's just a deep state actor, or rather not a deep state. I guess he was a paid actor. They said he was like some kind of pansy for Russia. And I'm like, you know what? I just want to hear everything. I often, I don't even care. I just want to hear everything. So I don't want to squelch any speech per se, right? If Tucker wants to go over to Moscow and do the interview, good, more power to him. Let's go and hear it. I didn't think it was that interesting, actually. Tucker didn't really get that many questions in, and Putin kind of railroaded him, but whatever. I mean, nobody said he was a journalist with a real J in front of his name, right? So it's Tucker, whatever. But I was actually interested to hear what Vladimir Putin was saying. So I put that on TikTok, and it exploded. So I'm like, okay, this is very, very interesting. When I put something up that would actually be, obviously really good for, and obviously I think it's good for everybody to hear everything, but it was just fascinating to me that they were willing to allow that one through. But, hey, I talk about, I don't know, inflation being out of control under Joe Biden, and boom, they'd slap me with some kind of penalty because I offended somebody. And I'm like, I'm sorry, it's just inflation. Get over it, guys, all right? But that's what I'm talking about. So don't look me in the eye and tell me that China didn't aggressively try to manipulate a few things along the way into this election cycle, because I'm absolutely convinced they did. And the media doesn't want to report on this. Now, why would the media not want to report? The media just wants Donald Trump to go away and go away fast. But I'll tell you one thing, the deep state is going to face a reckoning. The deep state has it coming, guys, big time, because this is not going to continue. We are learning more and more every single day. Burn bags being found at the FBI. Dan Bongino, my friend, told us about that a while back. And then what do you know? Kash Patel's finding it all. This is not good. And this is a real threat, right? We talk about the threat of foreign influence, about communism. And you think about everything that we've learned recently, some of these candidates that are out there. Oh, Mamdani in particular, right? Mamdani, who actually thinks it's just a misdemeanor. Oopsie daisy. Just an honest mistake. That his foreign affairs chief went out and was about to do a meeting with Iran?
That was stupid.
He doesn't think that that's a fireable offense? Wow. No, he doesn't. He doesn't listen to him dancing and singing and lying for the cameras.
My question for you is, recent reporting showed that the International Affairs Commissioner, Ana Maria Archila, was trying to meet with Iran's ambassador. Thoughts on her coordinating that meeting without your awareness? Also, what do you see Archila's role as the Commissioner of International Affairs? Is she supposed to be making these types of foreign policy, decisions behind your back? I mean, your reaction to that. And also, sorry, did you see the Graham Plattner video and your thoughts on that?
I haven't seen the video. I want to be clear on your first question. That meeting did not take place. It will not take place. And I did not know about it until there was a press inquiry regarding it. And when it comes to the work of our commissioner and our International Affairs Office, it's to ensure that as we are a city of the world, that we are also there to meet with leaders from across the world. The focus is always on our city and our relationship.
Thank you.
Reprimanded for planning the meeting? The commissioner recognizes that this was made an error, and we're working on a new process in terms of new meeting requests. Again, this was a request that came into the office, not one that originated from the office.
Yeah, okay. All right. So he thinks that that's going to be enough to absolve him of any of this. I mean, look, you know that Iran wants to have an effect. We know that China wants to have an effect. We know that China is actually running a bunch of bot farms to actually pump up the works of some of these crazy pants podcasters that you got out there, and you know who I'm talking about. I think we were just talking about one of them right there. And there's plenty more where that came from. So in other words, you have a financial incentive now for some of these people on the fringe to try and divide and conquer. What do you think the whole trans BIPOC movement and affinity group was about versus the, Hispanic, gay population? I mean, they just kept divvying up. I mean, heck, they even were divvying up men and women. And then there was, trans women and regular. Oh, did you see the
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you, the great one. Appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate that. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Name is Deontay. Appreciate that.
The deeper issue circulating with some very strong opinions about identity, history, and how different groups should move in this world, right? Some of it's emotional, historical, and some of it's just straight up contradiction. We're going to look at a few of them and hear what's actually being said and think through what it means instead of just picking a side.
I made a video asking for every person that is non-brown or black to be more willing to apologize about the racism that is happening in our world. And do you know 99.9996% of them said, I ain't apologizing for anything. Some of them said things like, you should apologize to me because my family put on their coats, their blue coats, to come and save your lives. And if they had known that you were going to act like this, then they would have helped you at all. And I'm like, wow. And then some are like, F no, nigger. I ain't apologizing for nothing because I'm not my ancestors and I didn't do anything to you. And because I didn't do anything to you, why would I apologize? There's no reason for me to apologize.
Right.
Others were like, I'm so sick and tired of this. Why does there have to be anything about apologizing or racism or anything like that? Listen, we're all a human race, so we should just all get along. I mean, there were tons of different comments. Do you know that I have over 137 comments on my TikTok video just asking them, like, look, just when you see something, instead of putting your 2 cents in it, like you are the reason why things are wrong.
How? Okay. So in the chat, your argument in the chat is facts are that Trump and his supporters are the reason why Americans are viewed as the dumbest people on the planet. No, that's not how that works. It comes from having Obama and doggone Biden. We got fucking grown-ass men dancing around. Grown-ass men want to be in the military taking hormone blockers. Dude, if we ready for war, you worry about some motherfucking hormone blockers. They laughing at that stupid-ass shit. Motherfucking grown-ass men wearing heels and shit. You know what I'm saying? You wearing a general suit, and you a grown-ass man, but you a man with a woman's suit on and heels on and a wig. Stop it. It's a clown show. Obama and Biden made the military a fucking clown show. Motherfuckers want to put on makeup and shit and blockers. We at war, man. What is y'all doing? Stay focused. Who gives a fuck what your sexuality is when it comes to fucking war and combat? And when it comes to fucking training, who gives a fuck? Train to survive. Train to fucking win. You know?
Or black people always want to make the excuse that slavery was a thing. Instead of doing those things, simply say, I apologize. And then we can try to bridge the gap. And all them sapsuckers, every last one of them was like, no. There may have been one person that said, I apologize. There may have been one. out of the whole 137 comments. Listen, go check it out on my TikTok. I promise you, ain't none of them saying I apologize. Everybody's saying what for? I ain't did nothing to you. I don't care nothing about it. You don't matter to me. You are nothing. I wish you go back. They're saying all those things, and I'm like, my God. Listen, at the end of the day, bet black. Bet on yourself, baby. Love on you. Don't let nobody take your blackness from you. We are amazing.
How they gonna take?
No, this woman is tripping, completely tripping, right? She's acting like racism and a need for apologies are things that are only attached to white people. I don't know why I'm flustered right now. Both now and historically. She made a previous video pushing for apologies specifically from white people, then turned around in this one and basically asking why any of this should be, how do I say, defended against her perspective. The deeper issue is that she's applying a standard that doesn't hold up when you look at history honestly. Every race and civilization has records of conquest, slavery, and mistreatment of others. Singling out one group as if they're uniquely responsible ignores the full picture and keeps the focus on selective guilt instead of actual progress made in America.
Preach.
And I'm not denouncing American history at all.
Nope.
Now, while some people are busy treating historical wrongs as if they only belong to, white people, other voices out here making some claims that require us to ignore large parts of documented history.
Right, they act like every person that was a slave master, how you want to put it, just beat the shit out their slaves. I'm pretty sure there was good slave masters out there. And you had some bad ones out there. So you guys just so focused on the bad ones that much. That's the thing about it too. That's crazy. Y'all want to focus on the bad. That bad. Like, damn, you know it was good motherfuckers out there. You know that, right? You know they fought to keep us free, right? You know what I'm saying? And they still fighting to keep us free now today. But you goofies, you know what I'm saying, keep on standing in the past. That's the problem. I live in America. If Trump is trying to fight for America, hey, I'm with it. Period. The man lives in America. Why would he go against America? He got grandkids here. Unless Trump planning on taking all his kids out of America and sending them somewhere else. And I doubt that's going to happen. So again, I believe the man is trying to make sure his legacy, after he dies and everything else, period, they good to go. And why not us as well as the Americans? It makes sense. He's the president. That's what we voted him to do. That's what we voted for. Y'all focus on the bad part, that bad. That's the crazy. When it comes to the Democrat Party, y'all keep on worrying about the past. Fuck the past. Move on. Make it better. Stop with the excuses. Stop with the victimhood. Y'all keep voting for it. Keep voting for it. Crazy. There's no excuse for it. Y'all, we are grown up people now. But I get it though. We're not paying attention to education when it comes to our kids. We're not paying attention, they teaching them. They out here tripping. You know, they went from having books and book bags to laptops now on their phones. You know what I'm saying? They barely see any book bags, any books. Things change. That's crazy.
We designed the Colosseum, the Pantheon, with the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world for 2,000 years. Gothic cathedrals like Notre Dame, Versailles, the Eiffel Tower, and the Sagrada Familia. We invented the printing press, the steam engine that powered the Industrial Revolution, the telephone, the light bulb, the jet engine, penicillin, the smallpox vaccine, which eradicated disease, killing 300 million people in the 20th century alone, the World Wide Web, calculus, the laws of motion and gravity, Newton, relativity, Einstein. Let's see, Leonardo da Vinci, the Mona Lisa. Let's see, composers we have Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, Chopin. Let's see, we mapped the world, circumnavigated, reached the poles, and put humans on the moon multiple times. Europeans produced the majority of Nobel Prize winners in science, medicine, and literature. Oh, we ended the transatlantic slave trade through naval power and legislation after it existed in every civilization for thousands of years. So,
Obviously, those were a lot of really good points, but here is 10 more inventions from white people that weren't mentioned. Things like the automobile, airplane, refrigeration, polio vaccine, the scientific method. You have the basis for the constitutional governance. You have radio, computer, electricity generation and distribution, and of course, antibiotics beyond penicillin. So that's not to say that black people also haven't had inventions. They've done great things too, like the traffic light, gas mask, home security system, super soaker. So they've done things too.
Okay. So, this clip starts with the claim that white people have no real talent or culture and only know how to steal it from black people and other people. The response fires back with a list of inventions and systems like the printing press, calculus, the internet, refrigeration, and vaccines that actually built the modern world. The issue isn't about putting one group over another. It's about how quickly some narratives erase massive contributions just because they don't fit the story being pushed.
Right.
And when you decide, certain groups have, or an entire group has nothing to offer except theft, you're not telling the truth. You're just weaponizing selective ignorance. And when those kind of wild claims get made, it's interesting to watch how the rules change depending on who's making the statement.
I'm at the park and I was staring at this black woman with the silk press. She asked me why I was staring at her, and I said, because your hair looks like shit.
Good.
Sorry, somebody got to start telling them. What? Is that racist? But this isn't.
I'm at the park and I was staring at this white woman with dreads. She asked me why I was staring at her. I said, your hair looks like shit. Sorry, somebody got to start telling them.
I'm at the park and I was staring at this black woman.
Wow.
Yeah.
So a right creator made a parody. They copied the exact same insult from another video from a black woman. Just, swapping the races. And I'm saying that she got permanently banned for it. That's what I'm hearing. The original video is still up and thriving. That's not about protecting people from harm. That's about applying two different sets of rules based on who's saying what.
Right.
And when the same language is punished in one direction and protected in the other, it stops being about principle and starts being about power. Over time, that kind of rigged standard, it doesn't create fairness. It just teaches people that consistency doesn't matter if you have the right identity on your side, right? And we're going to take it back to a video I'm sure you've all seen before. Because these kind of double standards don't just show up with online content. They show up when people flatten actual history to protect a preferred narrative.
All right, this former Dem wants you to know exactly why she left the left.
Here are the 5 reasons why I'm no longer a Democrat. I had to write it down to remember all of the reasons why. So first of all, when I was in high school, I didn't know that it was the Democrats who founded the Klan. I did not know that. I did not know that it was the Democrats who voted against the 13th Amendment, the amendment that freed the slaves.
Listen up, listen up.
The Democrats were like, yeah, no, they didn't vote for that. I did not know that it was the Democrats who voted against the 14th Amendment, which made slaves citizens. I did not know that the Democrats voted against the 15th Amendment, which gave the slaves the right to vote. 13, 14, 15 amendments, Democrats were like, yeah, no, we're not voting for that. I did not know that there was a larger percentage of Republicans who worked to push through the Civil Rights Bill of 1964 than there were Democrats. I did not know that there was some white guy by the name of Everett Dickerson, a Republican, who was awarded by the NAACP for helping to facilitate and push the Civil Rights Bill of 1964 through. A white Republican did that. I did not know that Al Gore's dad participated in the largest filibuster to prevent the Civil Rights Bill of 1964 from passing. Al Gore's dad. He was a part of that. I did not know that the Democrats were more pro-abortion and they were anti-Vietnam and they were anti-war. They were pro-abortion, which kind of makes sense when you remember the 2004 Kamala Harris campaign when they had the mobiles in the parking lot, the abortion mobiles. And we also have to remember the woman who created Planned Parenthood. So these are the reasons why I'm no longer a Democrat. You come in the comments and let me know why you are still a Democrat and why none of this affects you or concerns you. And then you can also come in the comments and tell me that none of this is true because you can Google all of it.
Okay, so, there's a reason why the vast majority of people do not know a lot of the facts that she brought up in this video. It's because basically, I would say over the last 30 to 40 years, I would say particularly Democrats and the left have gone through this hardcore PR campaign, all right? As soon as they took over the journalism in the media industry, as soon as they took over Hollywood, as soon as they took over all of that stuff, they've been pushing this agenda that Democrats are the good guys and Republicans are the bad guys. And people bought into that agenda for a very long time. People don't know the history of the Democrat Party. People don't even know, and I will count myself as one of these people. I didn't even know the history of Planned Parenthood really until about 7 to 8 years ago. I didn't know that Planned Parenthood was founded by a white supremacist named Margaret Sanger. I didn't know that one of the reasons that she founded Planned Parenthood was to literally kill black babies, all right? She thought that there were too many blacks, and she thought that there needed to be a system to halt population growth among the black population. This is all facts. You can really look this up, right? And so there's a reason why I didn't know that before. There's a reason why you probably didn't know a few of these facts that this woman dropped in this video, and it's because Democrats and the left didn't want you to know it.
Boom. And that's exactly why I wanted y'all to see this clip again today. This clip points out that the largest Senate filibuster against the 1964 Civil Rights Act came from Democrats. Yep, the left. That's a fact that's easy to verify. I mean, easy. Yet, a lot of the story we've been told today acts
like, share, and subscribe, everybody. Subscribe. 27 people in the chat. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Name is Deontay. Everybody is welcome.
one side has always been a defender of civil rights, while the other side has always been against it. And when the actual legislative record gets edited out of the conversation, people end up fighting over a version of history that was never true. Never. The filibuster happened. The party that led it later changed its branding. Pretending none of that exists doesn't make it disappear, right? It just makes the people punishing the shortened version look like they're more interested in the story than the actual record. And when history keeps getting cleaned up to fit one side's narrative, it's no surprise that people inside communities eventually start having harder conversations about current behavior and accountability.
I didn't marry a black woman. All my kids are black women. Okay, let me put that out. And my reason for not marrying a black woman, because I got tired of seeing the same shit over and over and over, and I can't get through to these sisters. I got a lot of women in my family, but it's a lot of motherfuckers. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't like them, and I feel better when I'm not around. The reason being is because they trapped. Once I woke up and realized, like, oh, family structure has been destroyed in our community, and we are attacking each other, and we constantly feeding this toxic energy, and we constantly having more babies that's coming out more toxic. We ignoring the motherfuckers that's using drugs, and then they having babies, so they coming out more toxic. In order for me to survive, to start a new family, and to break this generational curse, I gotta separate myself from all you motherfuckers. And that means, no, I don't want to be your Facebook friend. That means because people will look at you, and even the ones that love you, gotta be careful, because they'll look at you and be like, man, that's great for you, but in their mind be like, man, I wish I could do that. That's wishing some ill shit on you. I look at like family is a word. You can choose your family. You can't choose the family you want. You choose the one you said DNA with. You really can't. If you really want to go deep into who we are, you can't choose that part. But your family, your tribe, like you can choose that. That comes with a lot of responsibility. And you gotta be a little bit more emotionally strong to walk in there.
Now, the man in this clip is saying that black Americans can be toxic when it comes to accountability, and that can sometimes, and that sometimes the best move is to keep distance from that energy. He's speaking from inside the black community, not an outsider, by the way. You know, whether you agree or disagree isn't the point. The pushback he gets for saying it out loud usually reveals how much certain behaviors have been turned into something people are not allowed to criticize. When internal honesty gets treated like betrayal, it shows how deep the dysfunction has been allowed to grow. You know, real progress inside any group requires the ability to call out what's hurting it without being shut down. But once trust and accountability starts breaking down at that level, some voices take it even further and argue that shared systems just can't work anymore.
Yes, black people need their own everything. We need our own hospitals.
We need our own grocery stores. We need our own police force. We need our own government, so on and so forth. And you want to know why? Because white folks or any other race of people don't have no business policing over us, govern over us in no form or fashion, because that's a conflict of interest, because the history of this country, okay, and it's known hatred and bigotry towards black people, foundational black people in this country. It has been proven time and time again that it's hidden racists in the police force, in the hospitals, in the food industry, so on and so forth. And for that reason alone, black people need autonomy. Black people need to govern themselves. We need black people policing black people, white people policing white people, Chinese people policing Chinese people, so on and so forth. Yes, I live to see that day. I live to see that day.
Now, the woman argues that black people need their own hospitals, grocery stores, and police force, and even their own government, or our own government. I don't know why I'm saying it like I'm not black, because other races can't be trusted to run anything that affects black lives. That's a full separationalist position, dressed up as self-determination. It assumes permanent distrust and permanent division instead of the possibility that shared systems can be fixed or held accountable. You know, the moment you decide certain groups are incapable of fair governance, you basically accepted that, one country with equal rights and rules is impossible. You know, that kind of thinking doesn't lead to strength. It just leads to fragmentation and weaker outcomes for everybody involved. Now, these clips show different versions of the same problem. People either erasing parts of history, applying rules unevenly, or giving up on the idea that we can operate under the same standards.
Mr. Webb, what qualifications do you have to serve in the U.S. Senate?
Oh, I ran for office several times. Didn't win, but I did run. And then I'm a songwriter, and then I write my own books. And then I suppose my transparency, I wouldn't lie to the people, and I wouldn't deceive the people like we're being deceived right now. Like,
I can say that with a straight face. I wouldn't lie to the people, and I wouldn't deceive them.
I did run, and then
Mr. Webb, what qualifications do you have to serve in the U.S. Senate?
Oh, I ran for office several times. Didn't win, but I did run. And then I'm a songwriter, and then I write my own books. And then I suppose my transparency, I wouldn't lie to the people, and I wouldn't deceive the people like we're being deceived right now. Like,
so who are you deceiving right now? Who are you deceiving right now, bro? Stop lying.
I can say that with a straight face. I wouldn't lie to the people, and I wouldn't deceive them.
I am a liar.
First of all, anybody who's watching this, take the exact same answer, put it on any other politician that doesn't do identity politics. Put it on anybody. You would never accept this answer for someone who's running for office. Right. So that shows us that this identity mentality has gone very, very deep in this country, because that was a highly unsatisfactory answer. Mr. Webb, if you ever, on the slight chance that you ever hear this, please know that Jesus loves you. Please know that you are worthy of love from God, because he's going to give it to you regardless. That repent part needs to be your best friend. It truthfully does. The people who told you to go up there and embarrass yourself on this platform, you said you ran multiple times. So whoever is continuing to encourage you to do this, but not encouraging you to find good mental health, not encouraging you to figure out what put you on this path in the first place, not figure out how to find true answers, they do not care about you. No. The empowerment that this individual has going up here to go up there in their falsity of the way they're living their life to try and represent the individuals. This is the state of Maine, by the way. I caught that one. You're lucky nobody I know lives in Maine. These individuals are using you as an idol. They're using you as a scapegoat. They're using you as a talking piece. They're using you as nothing more than another bullet in the ammunition that they're using for the political space. Repent, seek God, and please know that when that time comes, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. I look forward to seeing you walk through the gates of heaven before him.
I'm going to start with Romans 1:22. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man. As birds and the four-footed beasts and creepers. He said, wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts.
That's right.
For him to stand up there, I hate to say it this way, but look at the way you're looking. Like, we gonna start there. Looking the way you looking.
I'm already.
Look like they just, like AT said, they just threw him up there as a spokesperson for something that, for lack of a better term, everybody got their own thing, but you're representing something. Look at how you looking.
Yeah.
You know, look, it looks like a busted vehicle. Like you drive it, it's not painted crazy. It's like they just threw something on him and said, get up there. And like you said, he's like, I've ran multiple times. Then why do you keep running? At this point, this becomes a publicity stunt. Like, it's a publicity stunt. Why do you keep going? You know you're not going to win, because I'm sure the votes and the numbers are showing that you're not going to win. But this shows you the mockery in which we live in. Because if you look at all of us, especially the guy at the end, he kind of gives a little smirk when a guy begins to talk. Because he's like, this is comical. This is my competition. This is what I got to go up against.
Right.
So therefore, when it comes time to vote, it's like, I don't really have to say nothing too intellectually smart. I don't have to go too far, because guess what? What makes you eligible to run? I'm a songwriter. I wrote some books. What does this have to do with policy? Like, and then what you're going to say is, I'm standing up for what I believe in, but we don't believe in what you believe in, sir.
But I won't deceive you.
Excuse me, sir, ma'am, or I don't know. Whatever letter, I don't know.
No, I think you were correct the first time, sir.
Just like AT said, God loves you. May the heavens smile upon you. But what I do know, that there is a remnant. And I hope that you're a part of that remnant one day. But man, come on, this is unacceptable. This is just showing the mockery of our justices. For them to allow him to get up there repeatedly, not just once. Repeatedly, somebody say, hey, we gonna push you up there. So what is the agenda?
This is gonna be the one.
Right, this is the one that's gonna represent us. And I think Crystal said it. They're not looking for laws. They're looking for representation.
Yes.
I wrote a book. I sing. Sing what? Oh, what?
Songs in the backyard.
Come on, somebody mentioned estrogen on the steroids. The estrogen ain't working.
This gentleman really did firmly believe that he had a good answer to this. And that's what happens when you put nothing but identity politics and feelings in front of the populace. He really thinks that's a good reason to run whatever it is that he's running. So if he thinks that's okay, that means that, yeah, give me a next presidential candidate coming up here who also likes crayons. Why not? Right? And that's what matters. And if you push back against it, how dare you, you hateful individual, you horrible person.
The sad part about it is Maine is crazy enough at this point that they would vote for this guy to win in this primary, and you will have Sunny Hostin on The View saying once again that she would hold her nose and pull the lever for this fool.
Yes.
This is what's going. This is the problem. Not only just in America, the Democrat Party, they are cooked. They're done, man.
Was partner in Maine?
Yeah, that was Maine. This is the scene. This is
That's how we need to know, because they ain't going to take on the Nazi SAR
Like
as their
and subscribe if you haven't already.
Honey, I felt like, give me the microphone first so I can bust like a bubble. But you know, God is working with me, and He wanted me to hear these good Christians speak. That was not me at all. I am for this. I love it. I was like, oh, wait a second. First of all, that dress. Right? That dress said everything to me. Oh, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. He came there and he looked actually slightly overwhelmed. Overwhelmed by the moment in the question. I was like, this is amazing. So if this is where we're at, if this is what the Senate is to be.
And you say MAGA is a cult. Really? People like this, they're not a cult. They dress like this and they wear frog suits and T-Rex suits and whistles.
I'm voting for pink pants, okay? At least I'm getting a cash advance. All right, I can get a cash advance with him. My vote goes exclusively to pink pants. If this is what we have to be reduced down to, that's where I'm going. I'm going with him. I'm sorry for this, sir, gentlemen. Lady ma'am, I'm sorry for you, but unfortunately, Pink Pants has got my. But on the serious note, I think he did say something absolutely revealing, and we got to catch the tea when they tell us, because they will tell us, because they're actually unable to stop themselves. The same reason he's unable to stop himself from running, Elder Travis, is the same reason he's unable to not tell the truth when he said he's an angry man.
Oh, yeah.
And this is why he is there. What you're looking at is a desperation and a cry for help. This is somebody who's telling you, I cannot be comfortable. I cannot relax in my own skin. And I'm angry about it. I wrote about this in my book. And the hurt people. There are only two options for people who have that level of trauma and anger that come to the public. And one is they either implode, and they, usually have issues of drugs and alcohol and abuse and all that, because they take pain and abuse on themselves. Or they explode, and the people who explode want to be in public positions. They want to take that anger, and this is what they're doing. They are marching to the public in all of their regalia, whatever it is, wearing their pain in their dress, because that dress looked painful. Wearing their pain in their dress, and they are coming to the public, and let me tell you, they intend to enact a holy not heaven on us. Because what they want is they need someone to pay for this pain, and that's why they're there. And that's why they'll keep trying, and whether there's not a vote, doesn't matter. The whole point is to go up and say, look what is happening to me, and no one is helping me. People think it's funny, and believe me, no one wants to laugh more than I do. So it's funny, but he told you the truth when he said, I'm an angry man, and if I get elected, I'll be an angry senator. That is no different than your Jasmine Crockett. She's an angry black woman, and when she got elected, she was an angry black woman. Congressperson, all that anger out on the American public. AOC is an angry Latino woman, and then when she got elected, she became an angry. Raphael Warnock. These people are angry, and it is their anger that is propelling them to public so-called service, because what they want to do is get that anger off them, and the way they'll get it is watching you suffer.
I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on any of this? Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family, or buy your brother a coffee. That link's in the description box below. And as always, keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you guys next time. Peace.
It is God who arms me with strength. Yeah, I'm battle ready. He trains my hands for battle. My heart's steady. But thanks be to God, he gives us the victory.
In the long history of political backfires, there hasn't been a single worse one than BLM demanding that all police wear body cams. Because what that has resulted in is a 4K resolution
Yep. The body cam changed the whole entire narrative. Changed everything. It showed that motherfuckers are not compliant. Sit your ass down. Put your hands on the steering wheel and just listen. If you do all those things that cops ask you to do, and he hits you and arrests you or everything else that he shouldn't have done, you can sue them and you're going to win. But you guys don't want to do that. They want to do this dumb shit. Look at this.
Evolution of how people think of black criminals, and they can see quite clearly now who the agitators and violent aggressors are in these incidences, and their narratives get destroyed. And so BLM got owned by the body cam debate, and that debate has now come for Sunny Hosen, who is a DEI race lady, member of The View, whose only job it is to sit there and be perpetually offended by, what was it this week? The American flag. I feel
And with an American flag on that cap, you might as well have a hood on. You might as well have a hood on, because that's what it looks like. That's what it feels like. But you say this is the best nation. The best nation for who? Yeah, when you say it's the best nation.
Well, obviously for you, because you've been clearly doing, keeping, I mean, it's expensive. Groceries are expensive these days, right? but you clearly have no problem affording them.
When you say it's the best nation for who? Because if we are celebrating 250 years, what are we exactly celebrating is what I want to know. And so I'm really glad that picture was taken.
Because here's what we're celebrating. We're celebrating Sonny Hostin's family, who were slave owners. Is that what we're celebrating? Slave owner Sonny Hostin? Do you remember when she found out that, she's a staunch proponent of reparations? Turns out that her family owned tons of slaves. My friend.
I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Look at the expression. Anyway, that expression changed. And then that passive aggressive grin got wiped off her face real fast in her own body camera footage. When Sonny Hostin tried to talk cops out of busting her Harvard-educated son for trespassing. He has no criminal record. She said, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, but
so what happened here exactly? Body cam footage shows Sonny Hostin trying to talk cops out of busting her Harvard. So this is like, who is Harvard giving educations to? Who's Harvard giving degrees to? How many like white kids from the Midwest or really high IQ Asian kids that score like freaking off the charts, right, on the essay? How many of them were booted so that Sonny Hostin's dirtbag, gangly ass, goofball, criminal kid, nepo baby could go commit crimes and go to Harvard? The View co-host Sonny Hostin tried to talk cops out of her Ivy League educated son trespassing citation, telling them he has no criminal record, repeatedly citing her legal background, according to newly released body cam footage. Well, let's head on over there. I'm sure the body cam footage is going to work out great for you, Sonny.
Her son. Her son was training. He's an athlete on this dirt road, and he saw this gravel incline with a gate open. So he went in to train on the gravel, not seeing there was a no trespass sign on that gate.
Sure. I'm sure that's what happened. Okay. Exclusive Sonny Hostin saying on camera trespassing incident. Let's go.
Pleasure. This is my son. What's going on? He was walking along the tracks.
Okay. On a run, on a walk, and the gate was open. I was out.
I see.
Yeah. 475.
It's on the phone with me. Actually.
Okay.
I'm a former federal prosecutor. He knows he's a Harvard grad who teaches fourth grade geology to South Bronx kids. That's not a kid who's ever in trouble. It's an innocent mistake. I understand you can't read. Violation, but it's something.
Whoa. Wait a second. Wait. So you have the race lady here who's constantly going on and on and on about privilege in society, right? This is what she does for a living. She harps, bitches and moans about how much privilege white people have in society over her. Yet here's clear footage of her saying, well, he went to Harvard and I'm a federal prosecutor and I'm a lawyer. So you need to let my criminal son off from his crimes.
Where'd you go?
Wow.
So yeah, there's an open gate. I think I was walking over there, and there's some. I was about to show something.
I had a big interview today. We're talking about it.
You guys let the sergeant say that he called up or back up?
Well, we just heard what was going on, so we're like,
we were up by Scarsdale actually, and we're like, yeah, we'll drive by. We'll see. Sometimes seems like overkill. Is it like, oh, this is some entertaining stuff happening? Let me check that. Like, I don't know what
situations. They're not always like you, so sometimes the situations go a little the other way.
Oh, so you're getting some privilege, huh?
It's better to be safe and sorry, you know what I'm saying?
So, more privilege, right? going to do next?
Don't move.
Live in the area? Yeah, we live on. We used to live. We just moved here. There are a lot of people here of all ages who. It's
like a really nice. It's like a really nice video. It's like a really nice area. Look at her. Look at this.
It's your option. Phone number. This is just a quick reminder.
Let's see how this ends.
You can call them and they can brief us. Phone them.
Okay, so he ended up getting charged. Police have just released the body cam footage showing her son being and her fighting aggressively on his behalf. He's a Harvard grad. Derp, I can't read a no trespass sign. Somebody ever pick special treatment? I'm a federal prosecutor. He's an attorney. I had a big interview today. He teaches fourth grade. He's been in media for 20 years, hasn't been in a courtroom for 20 years, and practiced law for 4 years, yet throws it out. Yep. For somebody who touts all of her oppression to daily living. My word, this horrible racist country sure is oozing privilege in this clip. That's exactly right. Maybe he was trying to avoid one of those terrifying neighborhoods that fly flags. Again, way to go on the cops, because the cops actually did end up charging him, and Gabriel Hosen is his name. So too bad. He is in violation of the posted no trespassing signs, according to the footage. He was on active railroad tracks. It's criminal trespassing. Yeah. So, good. Maximum penalty, maximum punishment, jail time, immediately. Now, jail, alligator Alcatraz, Gitmo, do it. Prove that there's no privilege for power in society. Come on, DOJ. Come on, Zoran Mandami. Yeah. We'll wait and see. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. Still funny.
Going on with ICE, pretending like these victims did something wrong.
Qualifications do you have to serve in the U.S. Senate?
Oh, I ran for office. Didn't win, but I did run. And then I'm a songwriter, and then I write my own books. And then I suppose my transparency, I wouldn't lie to the people, and I wouldn't deceive the people like we're being deceived right now. Like, we get lied to. Smoke and mirrors, like what's going on with ICE, pretending like these victims did something wrong. Like, that's unacceptable. And I suppose the biggest thing is, like, I'm just an angry citizen now, and if I got elected, I'd be an angry senator, and I think that would probably be their worst nightmare.
What they're trying to do here is the same thing that was done in the South for decades to prevent people of color from voting.
See, this is where my righteous anger pop up, because I know what he's saying is a lie. I live in the South. I've been living in the South my whole life on the Gulf Coast. I go to vote every single time there's an election. And guess what? I show my ID. I write my signature. They check to make sure who I am. I go vote. No problems. Nobody asking me any questions. Nobody making me count the jelly beans in the jar. And quit lumping us in the people of color category. We're Black Americans. And we are citizens. And nobody is taking away our right to vote. What they are doing is they're using Black people, going back in the past, provoking emotional manipulation, because they know if they say Jim Crow or slavery, Black people are going to be like, oh my God, he's right. They're coming against us. This has nothing to do with you, Black people. Wake up. People of color he talking about is illegal migrants. They don't have IDs. That's their new voting base. Letting these people use you. I've been having an ID since I was 15 years old. I'm 50 years old. Every Black person I know has an ID. You need an ID to drive. You need an ID to go into a club. You need an ID to fly on a plane. You need an ID to go into another country. You need an ID to buy liquor. You need an ID to buy cigarettes. I don't know any Black person without an ID. Even the poorest of the poor Black people have an ID. JJ down the street that dig in the trash can that I pass by, and he always bothering me about a little bit of money. And when I feeling a little giving, I give him $5. Guess what he do? He go straight into the liquor store and go buy him some liquor. But before he do, he present his ID. So even the homeless man got an ID. Black people, y'all can keep letting these liberals play in y'all face, but Malcolm X warned y'all about these people. They're using you. This is about getting illegal migrants to vote. They don't have an ID, so they don't want any questions whenever they walk in there. They are the Democratic Party new voting base. They are the new slave.
For instance, if you change, you're a woman who got married and changed your last name, you won't be able to show ID and you'll be discriminated against. If you can't find a birth certificate or a proper ID, you'll be discriminated against.
Well, first of all, that's a lie. I've been married twice. Don't judge me. Divorced, and then he died. Now I'm remarried. Now let's get back to it. Both times I presented my birth certificate and photo ID. And then I got a marriage license. I got married. And then if I tarried on getting my name changed, guess what? If I went to vote and I didn't have the right name, all I have to do is bring my marriage license. And we know we got a birth certificate. You know why? Because I needed it to get my marriage license, dummy. Or if you didn't need it, you had to have some type of ID in order to get the marriage license. So you bring both. You bring both. And they check it. And they see that the marriage license is your name change. That is just if you just got married at the time of an election. Most of us women, we get married and we handle the business. We go ahead and get that new Social Security card and that new driver's license. Black America, I'm going to need you to wake up. Did you hear what I said? Black America.
You might not like the truth, but I'll never tell a lie. Guys, I'm going to say it. The Democrats might have a new superstar in their hands. And if this candidate gets elected, I would personally be shaking in my boots. Ladies and gentlemen, from the state of Maine, Ashley Webb.
So what qualifications do you have to serve in the U.S. Senate? Oh, I ran for office several times. Didn't win, but I did run. And then I'm a songwriter, and then I write my own books, and then I suppose my transparency, I wouldn't lie to people, and I wouldn't deceive the people like we're being deceived right now. Like, we get lied to smoke and mirrors, like what's going on with ICE, pretending like these victims did something wrong. Like, that's unacceptable. And I suppose the biggest thing is, like, I'm just an angry citizen now, and if I got elected, I'd be an angry senator, and I think that would probably be their worst nightmare.
Oh, Ashley, with that face, we're gonna need an entire fog machine. First, I wanna say I had no idea that Meatloaf is trans now. Good for him. But also, I wanted to get into Ashley's Reddit because there's some things in there that I think you'll find amusing. So here we have Ashley's Reddit, and underlined are some things, some claims that Ashley makes that I found interesting. Shall we? Ashley says, I have a cycle in which I get monthly cramping like pain accompanied with bleeding. I ovulate as well. Really? Then he goes on to say, my karyotype came back XY. He then says that his monthly period pain isn't too bad, and this is where it gets kind of crazy. Hold on. He goes, when you don't have a proper hole, one of two exits. My exit connection was made with my colon because when I get monthly pain, that is where the blood comes out of. What? And he goes, I don't like talking about my monthly rectal bleeding because when I talk about it to doctors, it tends...
I fucking hate it here.
What qualifications do you have to serve?
This just might be one of the most brutal videos I have ever seen. Hakeem Jeffries just got shown the receipts about how he was begging Jeffrey Epstein for money. Watch this amazing video.
I've taken to the floor today to respond to Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries calling me a, quote, stone-cold liar during a press conference defending the recent discovery of Democrats' communication with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. And I bring with me something that he and many of his fellow Democrats like Jamie Raskin, Jasmine Crockett, and Stacey Plaskett, apparently detest. And that is a thing called evidence. Tuesday, I gave a speech on the House floor detailing my House Oversight Committee's good work to date on our Epstein investigation. After all, Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrats in Congress, and your allies in the corporate media have been demanding a full release of the Epstein documents for months, including all the documents from the Epstein estate. So without hesitation, I subpoenaed all of the Jeffrey Epstein estate documents because I, as well as my Republican colleagues on the House Oversight Committee, we want to know what really happened, what went on, who was involved in these unspeakable crimes. We want justice for the survivors. That's why we're doing this investigation. So House Oversight obtained over 30,000 pages of documents from the estate. Unlike the Democrats, who only released 10 of those over 30,000 pages of documents, Republicans on the House Oversight Committee released every single document on the website for the American people to see. Democrats and many in the media were anxiously clutching their pearls in anticipation of potential dirt on President Trump. In the end, after full transparency by the Republicans on the Oversight Committee, there was nothing new about the president's former relationship with Epstein, and certainly nothing scandalous. But we did find two sitting Democrat members of Congress had communication with Epstein. First, it's been highly reported and debated about Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett texting during an Oversight Committee hearing with Jeffrey Epstein while trying to conspire with him to hurt or embarrass Donald Trump. But according to Jamie Raskin, that was okay because Mr. Epstein was her constituent. Now, how embarrassing a rationale is that? But the second communication was this email right here, where Hakeem Jeffries' campaign reached out directly to Jeffrey Epstein, soliciting campaign dollars for the, quote, Brooklyn Barack.
Damn.
Now, whereas Jamie Raskin explained Plaskett's communication with Epstein as simply responding to a constituent, Hakeem Jeffries had a very different response when asked about it by the media. He denied its existence. Hakeem Jeffries said Comer is a stone-cold liar, and then he reverted to calling me names for the second week in a row. So let's read it to make sure. To Jeffrey Epstein, and that's the real Jeffrey Epstein, not Jasmine Crockett's Jeffrey Epstein. This is the real Jeffrey Epstein. From Hakeem Jeffries' campaign. Dear Jeffrey, we are thrilled that we are working with Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, one of the rising stars of the New York delegation, sometimes referred to as Brooklyn's Barack. Hakeem is committed to electing a Democrat majority in 2014 and is encouraging his friends to participate in a DCCC fundraising dinner with President Obama and Hakeem Jeffries. It ends with a number for Jeffrey Epstein to call to go to the dinner and, quote, get an opportunity to get to know Hakeem better. Here's the evidence. The email speaks for itself. The only stone cold liar in this debate is Hakeem Jeffries. So, Mr. Minority Leader, take a deep breath, chill out, stop lying, stop with the juvenile name calling, and own up to the fact that your campaign solicited campaign cash from Jeffrey Epstein.
So it's just so funny. The Democrats are now trying to distance themselves from Jeffrey Epstein and all the scandals when they were the ones who were the most caught up in it. Absolutely ridiculous. Make sure to share this video so everyone knows the truth.
So Nam DePlume just recorded what is probably the most important video for everybody to go watch if you want to understand the entire grand treasonous conspiracy from start to finish. And he did it all in under 5 minutes. Stream of consciousness, all from memory, because we've been studying this scandal from the day that it started. And I don't think I've ever heard a more accurate depiction of the scam and the way it works. You can go find the full thing. It's the most recent video that he just recorded. It's over on his Nam DePlume 1.0 account. Go watch it. I'm telling you, it is the best explanation of the entire grand treasonous conspiracy I've ever heard. But I want to play just one part, and then I want to add on to what he was telling you.
Wouldn't you imagine that if they had anything on President Trump when it comes to Epstein, they wouldn't have gone through any of this trouble to completely cook up all of these fake narratives that they did. But now they suddenly have a 27th accuser. This is the hoax. This is the hoax that President Trump was warning you about.
You need to understand, when Donald Trump refers to the Epstein hoax, all he's doing is talking about this latest phase of the Russian collusion hoax, of the Ukraine impeachment hoax, of the Hunter Biden laptop hoax, of the January 6th hoax, of the lawfare campaign hoax, of the document case hoax, of the Mar-a-Lago raid hoax, of every hoax that's been operated against the Trump administration and Donald Trump himself. This is just the latest piece of it. But the problem for them is that it's just getting very sloppy because most of their money conduits have been eliminated. When Donald Trump and the Trump administration shut off funding through USAID, they shut off the flow of funding that was needed to actually fund and finance these hoaxes. So now they're stuck regurgitating and trying to recycle allegations from the past. You've already heard me talk about this one, Maria Farmer, who they're presenting as though this is a brand new allegation. The problem is, it is the exact same story, beefed up just a little bit with a couple of new lies to it that they tried to tell back in 2019. Yep. And it was entirely discredited then, and it's still discredited now. And now you've got the Stacey Williams hoax, who all the Gen Z propagandists are trying to recycle and present as though this is new.
I'm considered number 27 on Donald Trump's 27 sexual assault victim. When I was doing Sports Illustrated, that's when he assaulted me. Jeffrey Epstein walked me into his office to be sexually assaulted by him.
Wow, that 11-second video had every single hoax talking point that you could possibly fit. The problem is it's the same story that was already debunked right before the election. Yeah, you may remember her because Stacey Williams is the same person that the Harris campaign tried to trot out 2 weeks before the election, who was part of Survivors for Kamala. You may not remember it, but I do, because she was exposed for being a radical Democrat activist, somebody who not only worked directly for clean tech for Obama during the Obama administration, but also was part of the Kamala Harris campaign. And they're still trying to recycle the Katie Johnson hoax, the one that I personally destroyed and debunked last summer. It's also a hoax they tried to run back in 2016 until the media caught wind of the fact that it was entirely fabricated. Katie Johnson never existed at all. In fact, Katie Johnson was actually a former Jerry Springer producer by the name of Norm Lubbo. And you can go find out exactly who Norm Lubbo is and the other people that he tried to extort, while at the same time extorting Donald Trump. Folks, this is what Donald Trump is talking about when he refers to the Epstein hoax. The recycling and regurgitation of already debunked allegations that have been destroyed in the past. The problem is we have a new class of lying propagandists on the left, particularly on platforms like this one, who either haven't heard these stories or have and are perfectly okay with flat lying to your face about them.
You know, we make this rent payment effectively at the barrel of a gun because we know that if we don't make this payment, our landlords can call on agents of state violence and who can use physical force to throw us outdoors.
You're absolutely right, as it should be. You entered into a contract citing they would give you a place to stay. In exchange for that, you would pay them money. Yes, it's called a mutual agreement. They're providing a place for you to live. That's providing value. You, on the other hand, in exchange for them providing that place for you to live, you're giving them cash. You both agreed on that and signed a contract. That contract is enforceable by the law. So if you up and decide you are just going to break the contract and you're going to stay in the apartment or the house and no longer pay, yeah, they should forcibly remove you. That is how you remedy the contract or the breach of contract. That's fair. And these are these democratic socialists complaining about having to pay rent. I should just have a place to stay because I exist. Housing is a right. No, it's not. But she wasn't done.
Living on rent strike, right? Like getting to experience having your housing without having to pay for it is one of those like liberatory vision of home.
She seems excited about not having to pay rent and being able to live somewhere. Doesn't take into account that someone had to buy the land, build the building, maintain the building, pay insurance on the building. None of that matters. We want to be able to live somewhere for free, and that's our right. Goofy. That is not how the real world works. They literally want to receive value while providing none. I've said this before. These democratic socialists are like parasites. They want to receive value without giving value. They need a fat, juicy capitalist host that they can be a parasitic leech upon and suck resources from and redistribute to the people who don't want to be productive. Heaven forbid you have to actually provide value in order to have a place to stay. Heaven forbid you have to exchange something and you're just not entitled and just don't get stuff for free. Oh, the horror. The more I pay attention, the more I start to feel confident in calling these people a bunch of idiotic, parasitic losers. They're not good for the country and they're not good for the world. Anyway, that's all I've got for now. Don't forget, I have a free email newsletter. I send that out every morning around 7 a.m. Central.
Here is the world's wealthiest man.
Charlie.
One of the world's wealthiest men, worth like $10 billion. He's got a show on the NBC Apprentice. He's literally married to a supermodel. He can have any woman on the world. And I'm supposed to believe at 2 p.m. in a Tiffany store, he walks in and rapes E. Jean Carroll, who is not exactly a supermodel, and risks his entire fortune, of which there is no accusation for 20 years, but he pops up and runs for the president, and all of a sudden she says, this guy raped me, even though I can't remember the day, the month, the year, 2 p.m. in a department store at Tiffany's while he was at the height of his career. I'm sorry, that's complete rubbish and political nonsense.
Well, so there was a law in New York up until 2022, before 2022, or during 2022, there was a law passed called the Abuser, I can't remember the name, Protection Act or something like that. And it removed the statute of limitation, which was 1 year for civil cases for sexual abuse. So that's how she had to wait so long until 2022.
But she did not voice the accusation publicly till he ran for president, which she did in 2017, 2018. Second, the trial itself was financed by Democrat donors. Thirdly, this is such a superfluous conversation. He's president of the United States. He won. We won. The American people saw this and did not care. So maybe we could talk about issues that are happening right now, not some fake accusation from 30 years ago. Okay. Anyone disagreements? Yes, ma'am. Again, anyone in the crowd, you can work your way up if you disagree. Yes, ma'am.
Hello. I have two main points I want to talk about. So first off, I want to know your opinion on January 6th and the pardoning of... Okay.
No, that's a legitimate question.
Okay.
The pardoning's a legitimate question.
What's your opinion on that?
Everyone should be pardoned.
Okay, here is my thing I'm going to say about that. My father is a police officer, so if you're saying that someone injures him or kills him in the line of duty, I should support pardoning them?
Actually, that's not my position. My position is very simple.
You just said your position is everyone should be pardoned.
Hold on, allow me to finish. I said everyone should be pardoned, but not because of what they were accused of doing, because they were deprived of due process. And here's the kicker, that the January 6th defendants were put in pretrial detention for nearly 2 years, many of whom were not given attorney representation. One attorney in particular made his defendant go watch videos saying that MAGA is brainwashing you and say, go unbrainwash yourself before the trial. A complete violation of the 5th, 6th, and 7th Amendment. What I'm getting at, though, is that would you agree with the premise that if the tree is rotten, the fruit will be rotten?
I don't even know what you're referring to.
It's a metaphor.
No, my turn. So I want to know if you think that what they did, storming the Capitol, in your opinion, is that right or wrong? Yes or no?
Well, it depends.
Yes or no?
So they were only
yes or no?
Peacefully
yes
storming
no?
the Capitol. Hold on a second.
Please just yes
peacefully.
Or no. Yes or no?
What?
Do you agree
hold on
that
second.
It's a good thing that they did or a bad thing?
Can I?
Yes or no?
Can you?
You can answer.
Y'all know I had to come in and tell y'all what just went on this morning, right? In a nutshell. Now, before I get started, I want to say there are people in the comments saying, you forgot this and you forgot that. Well, the title of these are In a Nutshell. That's the title of the videos. That means I'm not going to detail every little bitty thing because I'm trying to condense it so I can tell you what's going on in a nutshell. But my videos are stitchable, so feel free to make a 60-minute video detailing every little thing that you think that I missed, because you probably could tell it better because I'm not about to do all that shit. So let me tell y'all what happened this morning. Okay, so remember Zelensky came here and Trump was like, look, I'm a broke up peace deal with Putin. Putin, no, I ain't with shit, so hey, let's do this. And Zelensky called himself being a little sneaky little ass, and he gonna go to Europe and say, well, since you're not gonna give us no money, then I tell you what, I'll go to Europe, and Europe is gonna show you that they got my back. So Trump said, all right, bet. Since Europe got your back, they're going to have to have your back all the way. I am freezing all aid to the Ukraine. That includes weapons. That includes troops to show you how to use these weapons. And that includes definitely the money that you were getting from the U.S. So go ahead, Playboy. Deal with Europe. But they're going to have to get you all the way right, because we ain't doing this shit no more. They got it. He thought about that because he knew good and well Europe was not going to have him like the U.S. had him. And we didn't make enemies. Well, Trump didn't make enemies with Putin. That was pretty smart because he knows that Putin has an alliance with Russia and China and India and Brazil and South Africa. And quiet as it's kept, I think it was, I don't know if it was South Korea or North Korea. I'll tell you later once I get all the details, but they broke on the deal with China where they doing some things, So Trump was like, I'm not dealing with the losing side, and I can pull out of NATO at any time. And I think I can, form a little alliance with the BRICS. Zelensky thought about that, and he issued a wonderful apology this morning. And on Twitter, he said he is willing to work under Trump to broker peace because the meeting in the White House did not go well, and he wanted to apologize for how he acted in the White House, because y'all said Trump and Vance had bullied him when they stuck up for America and said, you're not going to big boy us no more. He said, I acted out of order, and I'm sorry. So, can we talk about peace now? It's a lesson in this. Know your worth. Trump knew his worth, and he knew the worth of the United States. And he said, what you're not going to do, you're not going to make me think that we ain't worth nothing, because we worth everything, brother. Get your mind right.
Well, something has these people really, really, really worked up. Like very, very, very worked up. Like white hot, boiling rage, overflowing in ways that we haven't seen in a very long time. Something has their misandry to fever pitch levels.
So I just want to say very clearly, MAGA America,
look at all the names.
Psychotic.
Look at this. Look at all these people.
Like, listening to y'all talk like this is literally fucking
Did you really
psycho.
have to catch me
Did
like
you
that?
listen to Donald Trump? You mean the man that cheated on all 3 of his own wives?
Yeah, I know. Whatever.
You mean the man that has over 4,000 counts of fraud in our legal system and who has entire Pulitzer Prize-winning books written about how he is a con artist?
Wow.
Anyways, Donald Trump says so is not evidence. Once again, the man cheated on all 3 of the women he's been married to.
Imagine getting that upset when the President of the United States stands in front of the American people and tells the American people the exact same thing that Democrats have been saying for years.
We have to be on guard as to what they may try to do to the technology.
That's a Democrat.
They may try to creep into the technology and create a false count.
America, DNI's 2023 annual threat assessment found that China is already meddling in our elections, including at the local level.
We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
The only element we have not seen to date, as Director Ray said, is the hacking of voter registration databases or voter equipment. But as our intelligence chief said, that's just one keystroke away.
Look at where we are now in this year of our Lord 2018. We're talking about paper ballots, but that actually might be one of the smartest systems.
Russia interfered with our election, attacked our democracy for the sole purpose of artificially placing someone at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
You see, it's really strange because they've been saying that for decades, but when Donald Trump stands in front of the American people and talks about the evidence that he's released on whitehouse.gov, which, by the way, is still there. You can go read it. And he shows you things like conversations between FBI agents where one of them says, I'm basically running a shadow government across the FBI at this point. Suddenly, you shouldn't trust him? Or, where he shows you the emails from strategic intelligence analysts on China, North Korea, strategic assessments, where he says, we have deliberately massaged our one pending presidential daily briefing to avoid any direct links to the election. So maybe the reason why they're so upset now is because they got caught.
Here is the world's wealthiest man. One of the world's wealthiest men, worth like $10 billion. He's got a show on the NBC Apprentice. He's literally married to a supermodel. He can have any woman on the world. And I'm supposed to believe at 2 p.m. in a Tiffany's store, he walks in and rapes E. Jean Carroll, who is not exactly a supermodel, and risks his entire fortune, of which there is no accusation for 20 years, but he pops up and runs for the president.
I got proof that they cheating in elections. Election fraud is the greatest form of racism in the history of humanity. They using people that's right here that ain't never left. They said they received the application and they said they returned it all in one day.
Oh, wow.
They did all this on the same day. Simone, is that your signature on that ballot?
No.
21-year-olds in this area right here. Look at this. You telling me they care about voting absentee?
Right.
Yeah, right. This look like your envelope?
No, not at all.
It look like your handwriting on that envelope?
No. A chill in my body, like they stole from me. I'm like, oh man, this is a purpose.
My name is Melissa Love. I am the evidence. I did not vote in 2020. Voter fraud is affecting our people and forced to live in poverty because of it.
The people in this community being voted for illegally. That's what's happening. We are living affidavits.
They contacted the FBI in Detroit. Canvassers admitted to FBI agents that they signed voter registration forms in other people's names.
Well, I never vote absentee. I always go to the poll.
So then when I checked my voting record, I'm like, voting absentee? I don't vote absentee.
And I said, well, I voted in person. Supposed to be an I by my name.
And I felt something was wrong, but I didn't quite understand what was going on.
Is that your signature? Did you sign that, Ms. Linder?
No, that's not my signature.
So you know 100% it's not yours.
That's not mine.
I can't unsee the atrocities that I seen. I seen too much. I would have to be crazy to go back to a normal life after all what I witnessed.
It's political rape. You are ravishing someone. You are violating them. That's what's happening to the people in my community.
Something needs to be done.
We have evidence that the election was stolen. Here's the proof. I'm the proof. They can't prove you wrong. You know what they do? Ignore you. We call these voter trap houses. They put voters in these houses, have them work voting in these houses, and we got like 300,000 parcels. So if you put 1 and 2 in each one of these parcels, you spread it out across the city, it's gonna be many. I've been in this community all my life. We found our friends and families that have moved out of the city of Detroit, dead people. We done found they illegally voting people that's in the Wayne County Jail, not necessarily even from Michigan. This is not a black or white thing. This is a people thing. If they gonna cheat us, or they coming to y'all neighborhood.
If everybody was to wake up, oh man, they would be in trouble. But we're gonna make sure that they wake up.
I'm ready. I'll fight you and everything. I'm not scared of nothing you doing to me. Whatever you, I'm not scared of what you gonna do.
What you're about to see is the human cost of voter fraud.
Another kid sees Jesus outside. I'm not gonna lie, guys, this one choked me up as well. It's really happening. Check out this clip.
She stand right there. She stand right there over there. That's who she made.
Who was standing there?
She got a sky over there. She done got
Trip. Who was standing right there?
She's standing right there over there.
No, but what's their name?
Jesus.
What color was he wearing?
He's wearing a dress.
A dress? It was really long?
Yeah.
What color was it?
She called it white.
What color was his hair?
She got brown hair. She got brown hair.
Brown hair? Did he have a beard or no beard?
Yep, she got a beard.
Got a beard. What was he doing?
She do know and walk. She goes down to right there over there. She's standing.
Where was she standing?
She's standing by a rainbow.
Trip. Bless it, Lord.
A rainbow.
And where did Jesus go when he left?
She go, what? A rainbow, look. Look at here.
Wow.
What?
Did you see Jesus?
Yep. Jesus got a rainbow. Wow.
Wow.
Kids are so innocent. That video is so beautiful. Here's something else I want to show you guys. Acts 2:7, it says, in the last days, God says, I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your young men will see visions. Look at that. Your old men will dream dreams. Right now, within a time span of a week, we have seen 2 kids have open visions of Jesus Christ. And that's just what we've seen. It's really happening. It's beautiful to see. It truly is. Honestly, I'm out of words for this one, guys. It really brought a lot of joy to my heart and really choked me up. Such a beautiful thing to see. Especially coming from a child who doesn't know anything else but to be innocent and pure. Hallelujah. Thank the Lord, and whatever is happening, be right with the Lord. Amen. God bless.
Brandon, let's start with you. Just from a law enforcement perspective, what do you make of the timeline, the lack of answers, what maybe occurred here?
Well, I think the first thing is that these activists came in and brought in information or lies about circumstances to make people question the law.
Thank you, Tony, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. You are a blessing. Everybody's a blessing. Thank you for that. Thank you. Wow. Thank you, Tony Zimmerman. Thank you.
Enforcement officers have already done an autopsy. They've already investigated. There's no sign of foul play. And one thing that's very interesting that I just found out recently is that it wasn't a situation where you have Nolan Wells and 4 of the kids at an island. There's thousands of people there. There's hundreds of different boats. So him staying behind while some of his other friends went back to the mainland wasn't that suspicious. I really wish that the family would focus on Nolan Wells' life, focus on the investigation, and let the police do their job instead of interjecting race into this situation. And it's completely unnecessary to be there at this point.
So, Teslin, you've worked with Ben Crump. You have valuable insight into how he operates. You're not speaking for him tonight, but what do you think about the timeline and whether it determines whether Nolan was still alive before the boat left the island, like his friends insist?
Yeah, thank you, Katie. I'm speaking as a mom, of a 19-year-old. In the same way Officer Tatum wishes that people would not insert lies, I wish Officer Tatum would allow the investigation, the independent investigation, to run its course. You don't know, Mr. Tatum, what has been talked about in this investigation. It has not been complete, and people have not came forward to say what happened with Nolan Wells. So I actually do believe his parents when they said that they taught their son to leave with whoever you came with. So for you to make the accusations that is a lie, when they're burying their son on Monday, is quite frankly to be disgusting, Officer Tatum. And I'm ashamed.
You know what's funny? I hope that you're paying attention to this, because there's a lot of information that have come out, and I've gotten firsthand knowledge about some things that have happened on that island, and people are going to be ashamed of themselves for sitting here lying and pushing racism in this circumstance. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I do know. I'll let you finish. I'll let you speak.
Again,
go ahead.
Thank you for the
Go ahead. I'm just saying I got firsthand knowledge too. But as we're talking about right now, you made the accusation that there were lies, that race has been interjected. Like I said last week, if people don't want people to speculate, then investigate. So this is
Brandon, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that topic, because Ben Crump is notorious and has been criticized by people who have used him in the past for their cases of being an ambulance chaser, pushing a narrative that fits the racial lens that he wants it to. You've talked about this on your podcast and how you believe young black men are unfortunately killed every single day, and people like Ben Crump and Al Sharpton just highlight certain stories that benefit them rather than the families.
Well, let's keep it real. This is all about money. Benjamin Crump will never show up to a kid's funeral or say anything about a kid that's killed by another black kid. But if there's an opportunity to interject racism into a situation where there's no evidence of racism, Benjamin Crump will be there to do it. What is his end goal? He's not a criminal attorney. So he's not going to help the family get justice on a criminal level. He's a civil rights attorney. You don't need a civil rights attorney in a case where you're wondering if the investigation is going right for your son, unless you believe this has something to do with racism.
Let him finish, and then I'll let you talk, okay? Let him finish his point, and then I'll let you respond. No, he's not. He's speaking, and I'll let you respond as soon as he's done making his point.
Katie, I'll let the young lady go. Go ahead. I would love to hear what you got to say to that.
Go right ahead.
Thank you, Officer Tate. Thank you. Well, let's just once again, speaking about things that you don't know about. Katie, you set it up. We're talking about Ben Crump being notorious for race baiting. I could name a couple of things that Officer Tatum here is also notorious for. So let's be careful on how we.
We don't need these personal attacks.
I'm gonna finish my statement. And let me also correct you on something else, Mr. Tatum. When you said Ben Crump would never show up for a black kid that was murdered by a black kid. My cousin Jordan Turner, who was 19 and was murdered by another black kid that also went away with his friends and never returned home, guess who showed up? Attorney Benjamin Crump. I know you're looking confused. See, this is why it's important that you
was that related to black people? Was black people involved in his death?
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, that's
and they were convicted.
We didn't hear about it plastered all over the media. That's a big difference.
This is why you don't know. This is why you should speak of what you know and not what you heard. So again, when it comes down to Nolan Wells, I ask that we use this time to ask people to come forward and speak about what they know.
I'll just pull you over, right?
Okay.
Just because you.
Whoa.
I like Tom Holman. I really do. I like Tom Holman. He's been really good. But when Tom Holman's wrong, I like how Donald Trump reversed what Tom Holman said. You had in Houston, you had in Maine, when ICE go to arrest, when ICE go to arrest people who are in this country illegally, because being in this country illegally is grounds for deportation. People say, well, they need to be a criminal. They are criminal. They're here illegally. They need to, no, they just need to be thrown out. But when Tom Holman said that they was going to put a pause on the traffic stops and the traffic for a while to, to get more training, he didn't say he was going to stop. He just said they was going to pause. Donald Trump read the room. See, Tom Holman is not a politician. And Tom Holman just
just looked at it as, you know what? None of these people are out here just trying to stop ICE, trying to stop them, and we need to train our officers to deal with people trying to flee and invade. Donald Trump read that and said, no, that's capitulating to the mob. That's capitulating to the Democrats.
Breaking today, President Trump overturning a brief suspension of ICE traffic stops, calling it an effective crime-fighting tool for immigration agents. Correspondent Alexis McCann with the latest from New York City. Hey, Alexis.
Hey, John. Well, President Trump says ICE traffic stops are back on. As orders are on home intel spots, agents have a lot of tactics they can use to make arrests.
You can certainly arrest the alien before it gets to the car. You can certainly arrest the alien when he parks the car, when he gets to where it's going. But there's going to be situations where they need to do vehicle stops, especially if it's a criminal alien.
So this morning, President Trump overturned that pause, calling the traffic stops one of the agency's most effective crime-fighting tools, saying without them, ICE would just play right into the criminals' hands. That's
like I said, I like Tom. Done an excellent job. But I'm glad President Trump wrote immediately. We rescinded that order. And Mike Mullins said the same thing. If ICE go to arrest you and you flee and evade, you will be shot. If you get out there and you try to stop ICE from doing their job and you try to hit them with a vehicle, you're going to be shot. Simple. And that's why I voted for President Trump. It's because I'm sick and tired of Democrats running out here thinking that protesting and rioting and anarchy are the same thing. No, if you are protesting, you have a right to stand there with a sign, and you have a right to say, we don't support this, we don't like this. Yes, absolutely. That is your constitutional right. However, you don't have a right to take your vehicle and try to hinder law. You don't have a constitutional right to take your vehicle and ram the law enforcement citations to stop them because you believe America's too white. Yeah, it is. The replacement theory is 100% true. It is.
This, for real, I think, might be the greatest 3 minutes of preaching that has ever occurred, that I've seen. Wow. From a dude named Alistair Begg. You're going to hear it in a second. He's Scottish. Makes him sound real awesome. Sounds like Braveheart's preaching the gospel to you. It's real great.
So that to go to the old Fort Lauderdale question, if you were to die tonight and you were getting entry into heaven, what would you say? If you answer that, and if I answer it in the first person, we've immediately gone wrong. Because I believed, because I have faith, because I am this, because I am continuing. Loved ones, the only proper answer is in the third person, because he. Think about the thief on the cross. What an immense. I can't wait to find that fellow one day to ask him, how did that shake out for you? Because you were cussing the guy out with your friend. You'd never been in a Bible study. You never got baptized. You didn't know a thing about church membership, and yet you made it. You made it. How did you make it? That's what the angel must have said. You know, like, what are you doing here? Well, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Well, because I don't know. Well, you know, excuse me, let me get my supervisor. They go get the supervisor ranger. So, wait, just a few questions for you. First of all, are you clear on the doctrine of justification by faith? The guy said, I never heard of it in my life. And what about? Let's just go to the doctrine of Scripture immediately. This guy's just staring, and eventually, in frustration, he says, "On what basis are you here?" And he said, "The man on the middle cross said, I can come."
The man on the middle cross said, I could come. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith. This is not of your undoing. It is the gift of God.
I'm telling you.
All right, you guys. It's been about, 3 hours I've been streaming. I'll be back for you guys. I got to work tomorrow. I got to cut my hair. Got to cut the grass. My wife's birthday tomorrow. So if I do go, it'll be kind of late. If not, celebrate my wife's birthday. She'll be 48. So, blessings to you guys. Stay prayed up. Love you guys. Thank you, Tonya, for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Catch you on the next one. Peace out.